Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the Manchester United Manchester City podcast, where we talk all things in regards to Manchester clubs on the red side of Manchester. Absolute dramatic scenes, a dramatic night, limbs in the home end, limbs in the Stratford end, limbs all across Old Trafford in the home stands as Manchester United win 5-4 on the night versus Lyon 7-6 on aggregate. I was literally, just as this was going live, I was watching the Maino goal again. Incredible. Yo, the touch, the chop though inside. The touch inside and then whip it. Like, that's not getting enough credit. And he does it all in like two quick motions. It's like bang, bang, and then the finish is crisp as well. So yeah, United through to Europa League semi-final, people. And in regards to the blue side, the side that let the country down in Europe and was out early, they have taken on Everton on the weekend as they chase top 4 to get back into the Champions League next year. City, me and Vea haven't spoken in a while because we didn't speak after the Manchester derby, even though it was so unforgettable. But City did go 2-0 down to Crystal Palace in their last game and then ended up putting 5 goals past them in impressive fashion. So he's here, people. So he'll be here shortly. So we'll be getting the thoughts of the gubernatorial done himself, everybody's favorite gaslighter, the gaslighter extraordinaire. I won't call him devil's advocate, but I'll say the Lord's advocate. That's what it is. So always the opposite point of view, always trolling. But on the flip side, very, very intelligent man when it comes to talking football, without doubt. Extremely intelligent, knows what he's talking about. Hence why he's such a good troll, because he trolls very, very well with the truth. But as always, on these shows, before I start, big up to everyone supporting Sarcasm City TV. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. So important you do that. Please share this out across all the socials as well. At That's Me Flawless, at Sarcasm City TV across all socials. That's at That's Me Flawless, at Sarcasm City TV. Why is my shit not even on the screen? What is going on? Boom. There we go. See it right there on the screen. And just as important, road to 15,000 subscribers here. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell as well, people. And I'm interested to actually hear Vega's thoughts on what we seen yesterday. Because what was funny, he popped up in the watch along and he's like, Flawless, you look like you played. And because I was playing football beforehand, I played football that day, so I was knackered because it's been a strong minute since I've actually played football. So that's why I looked like I did. And Manchester United did not help that. I legit went through the 5 stages of grief inside like 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, I really did. There was there was denial, there was anger, there was bargaining, there was depression, and there was acceptance. There was. The only thing I really wasn't was denial. Maybe denial at 3-2 that we could get back in the game. But at 4-2, that's where the depression was. The anger came when the manager not making subs. We're leading 2-0, going 2-2, then going 4-2 down. Those not being good with 10 men. All of these things, people. All of these things. Big up S. Madison as well. All of these things were problematic, is what I'd say. All problematic. Well, I said that was the denial. The anger, bargaining was just get back in the game, just get us the penalties, even though I thought we was going to lose if we went to penalties. Just get us to that. Depression. When Lacazette hit that penalty, that was him scoring a penalty and him running to the bench, like, is still in my brain. It's still mentally in my brain, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then what's the last one? Yeah, acceptance, like I mentioned. Like we just going out. It's like, all right, fuck. And we gonna get trolled and we're gonna hear about Lacazette and everyone's gonna say the manager needs to go and did it there and all of these things. But yeah, any questions you lot have, feel free to get into me. You know what I'm saying? Get any questions into me. But let's bring him on, man. Mr. Veta Games TV is in the cut. One of Canada's best ever exports. What are you telling me, fam?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, it's Easter Friday, Good Friday, you know what I mean? Long weekend. Blessed to everybody that celebrates. Listen, it's a good time. I know there's a few things behind, backstage trying to work out different timings. I think this timing was appropriate because out there, I mean, the people out in the UK, they're accustomed to this. It's usually a late night thing. So if we were to do it earlier, maybe it throws some people off. Those on the East Coast out here in North America, y'all know what this is. Now it's a special day. It's a Friday. I mean, lots gone down this past week. You know what I mean? A lot has gone down. So listen, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked, do that right now. All right. Flawless is everywhere. All the platforms. Make sure you support him wherever he's at. And again, bless everyone that's been coming over to my channel, subscribing. All love.
Love that.
I need to tell you, you've heard others explain football, but you haven't heard us. You've heard others give their takes, their agendas, their narratives, but you haven't heard us. It's going to be a different show. And listen, I know it irritates you guys. I know, but I'm not trying to be. You just don't like to hear what I have to say. But you're going to have to sit down, hit that like button, and hear it tonight, because I'm going to cover. Oh, I got to cover everything in Manchester. You know,
of course. That's why we're here. That's why I legit was like, all right, I need to get Veta run, because obviously we didn't do the show last week. So I was like, I got to do United Spurs. So I didn't do United Chelsea because of the NBA and everything that's going on as well. And the European ties is threw everything off. But yeah, go on, carry on.
I mean, we got a lot to break down, and
we do.
I like hearing others during their obviously moments of joy, but it actually speaks volumes when you hear others in their moments of despair or of hurt. You know what I mean? That's when you hear the truth. That's when you see who's got the grit, who's got the toughness. And this last game, this United game, oh my, listen, if you guys didn't do this, if you happen to watch the game on your own, you're not really subscribed to anyone, whoever your favorite Manchester United fan is, if they did a watch along, go and watch it. Go and watch it and see how they react during the highs, up 2-0, kind of comfortable, talking about this and that, wasted opportunities, might come back to bite us, all this kind of stuff. And then watch how they react to then being down 3 unanswered goals, then being down 3-2. It's absolutely beautiful. I mentioned this on the playback. If you haven't, go check out Flawless, Sarcasm City TV on the playback. I happened to mention this. I was watching Flawless and I was like, yo, why does Flawless look like he played 90 minutes? This man was stressed. He was all over the place. I'm like, yo, did he play? Did he play the 90 minutes? I was like, yo, this was crazy. Go and watch it. Great entertainment. And also, I think it's such a poetic representation of your season. I think that game is a poetic representation of the season.
It's accurate.
The fan base questioning the manager, talking down on certain players, cussing them out, and then having to like live through, oh, we're going to advance, maybe live through not advancing. And then the players that have been questioned all season long. Wallace is one of them. The players that have been questioned, the players that have been here under other managers. This is why you play the game. This is why it's a sport. This is why some look at it as entertainment. I look at it as competition. I like to watch competition. Competition is entertaining to me. Do I expect these players to go out and entertain me? No, I expect these players to go out and compete. And you saw these players compete. If you want to say they competed for themselves, that's up to you. If you want to say they competed for the badge, that's up to you. If you want to say they competed for the manager, that is up to you. End of the day, they competed. And the players that had impact, the players that were influential. I'm going to sit back. Actually, my timer's going off. I'm going to go and make sure my food can be taken off.
Yeah, don't burn the food. Yeah, do your thing.
I'm going to go and do that. But I'm going to sit back, relax. I want to hear Flawless talk about, like I said, the highs, the lows, the highs, the lows, the highs. I want to hear Flawless talk about.
I spoke about it, man. I went through the 5 stages of grief inside like 20 minutes. You seen me. You seen me.
Yes, but on reflection, you got to be. You know what? I hope you hydrated. I hope you got your electrolytes, because you were. And you said you actually played some football.
Yeah, I played football. Yeah, I played. So that's also added into why I look terrible. So I already was feeling terrible and looking terrible before that. So I already wasn't at my
Yo,
best because I hadn't
trust
played in
me.
however long. And then
Trust me.
United
We're
went
gonna
and did
break
that to
that
me.
down. We're gonna
Yeah,
break
yeah,
that
yeah,
down.
of
I'll just
course.
be a second. Bless.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Do your thing, man. Do your thing, of course, of course. Shout out to Vega. Make sure you lot subscribe to Vega Games TV. Big up to Madison every single time. Man says a roller coaster when we should have been free up comfortably. And that's where the annoyance lies. I said it earlier on today. I'm back again. I said it on my match reaction. I said it during the watch along. I've never been more proud and more angry at the exact same time, which is conflicting for me because I'm very, very decisive with my thought process on things. If I'm happy about something, or I'm irate, or I'm disappointed, or I'm okay with whatever the case may be, I know where I stand. And with that game, it's like there were so many great moments and great things that happened. And then on the flip side, there were so many terrible things and terrible moments that happened. And the wait till Vega gets back. But yeah, Madison says it here. We should have been up, and it should have been comfortable. And at 2-0, we were fine. And that's the good part. The bad part is the second half up until pretty much until they scored the penalty. It was bad ever since then. So from about that equalizer, which was it like the 70-odd minute up until 112 minutes. I'm acting like I can't gauge I can't get the information. My apologies, people. That is such bad laziness. Like we don't have the information right here. So I'm looking here at the timeline. So 5-4, crazy work. Absolute crazy work. So Lacazette bagged in his penalty in the 112th minute. And their equalizer was, let's see. Their equalizer, so from about the 77th minute, you could even say from their first goal. So probably from the 71st, wow, they scored 2 goals in 6 minutes. Crazy. So from like the 70th minute to the 100 and what was it? From the 71st minute to 109, they was the better side. And that was the bad parts. That was the bad part. Because the manager didn't make the changes at the required time when you could see the momentum was with them. I say this all the time about momentum. We all watch football here. We all know when the momentum's with our side. We all know when the momentum's against our side. And I said, even when we was 2-0 up and momentum was with us, go get the third goal and kill it. And then on the flip side, when the momentum was Lyon, even in the first half, I said, see this out. We need to wrestle back control. Now, that can be a substitution by the manager. That can be a tactical tweak by the manager, or that can be something the players do. Just breaking up play, just slowing the game down, or even the speed in the game up, or doing something different. All right, we've been going direct the whole game. Let's play short. Or we've been playing short the whole game. Go more direct. Hey, you two, instead of dropping in for the ball, split and go the other way. Or you lot have been splitting and running in behind. Hey, you lot drop in for the ball. Yeah, it's first sub, 83rd minute, madness. And that falls on the manager. But then on the flip side, the players dug in. Because at 4-2, we were dead and buried. I literally said, game over, it's done, it's dead. I literally said that. Because I thought, I was at acceptance, people. I was at the 5th stage of grief. Then when Bruno bagged the pen, I think I went back to bargaining. And I was like, just get the equalizer. And then when Mano scored, pandemonium. And then the Maguire one from the Casemiro cross is just, it's not even a word to describe it, people. And like, that's what it is. And I'm sure Vega will have questions, as I'm sure he will have questions as well. But Big Up Prime says the watch along. Yeah, go check out the watch along. Warrior J's timestamped it. Big Up Chinlu says big up Flawless Vega in the chat. Arteta Route says big up my family tree. Dunsey Dem says big up to you. Also, I will be trying to get over for the Heat Hawks game at like the start of the third. But obviously, got to get through the show here with Vega. Amarim said it's because the energy dropped. I believe it's because these players sit deep by default. It's like, we know we're not energetic. Someone mentioned in the last stream, and I didn't manage to get to it because Jez, Jacob, and myself was all talking about various things. About Lyon still dominating with 10 men. That's for two things, in my opinion. One, Paul Scholes mentioned this, our lack of athleticism our lack of athleticism hinders our ability to take advantage when you have 10 men. Because you should stretch the pitch anyway. I say this all the time. Stretch the pitch, move the ball from side to side, pull players out of position. That's how you pull the opposition out of position. Keep the ball ticking, just short passes, short, simple passes until you see an opening, maybe for a through ball or something a little bit more expansive, something a little bit more creative. But one, we don't have that. And then two, we don't have players with IQ. Because if you lack the athleticism, it's like, all right, there's space somewhere out there. just keep the ball ticking till the space arises, and we don't have the players to do that. But it was poor after the 10 men, and Lyon got better after 10 men. They were the better side before they went down to 10 men. Like I said, that period from the 70th minute, they were the better side in the second half anyway. But in particular, from when they scored that first goal in the 71st minute up until Lacazette scored the fourth, they was the better side. They was the better, but we was the better side before that. And then after that, they got tired, but we made our moments of quality shown through Casemiro in particular for both the fourth and the fifth goals. Even the smartness of winning the penalty, Maino, the touch, the chop, Maguire, fantastic. I tell you this much, Hoyland don't score that.
Sorry. Who?
What?
Who'd you say? Who'd you just say?
Maguire.
Yeah,
Maguire.
All right.
Yeah. You say again, it was a very, very good header. We ain't gonna talk about him ducking out the way for the second goal, but we move.
No, I mean, players make mistakes, and players, they have to make up for it, right? Saka made a mistake, screwing up Pen, and then he had to play up and do better.
Players make mistakes, and then players make multiple mistakes over a number of years, but that's a whole different conversation. But he deserves full credit for that header. Am I lying? Is that a lie?
No, it's not a lie, but it's not necessary. Okay. Why are you going to bring up the past?
It was definitely necessary because it's why you are judged the way you judge. Because you said when you was talking, players I've been critical of. I'm explaining why I've been critical of him. It's not unfair. You play well, you get praised. You play poorly, you get criticized. You play well over you play well over a sustained period of time. I will praise you heavy and forgive you when you have a bad game. If you play bad all of the time, I ain't going overboard with praise, but quality header. Quality header.
You know what? I missed the very beginning. I missed the very beginning of your watch along. What were the vibes? What were the feelings? Where were you at with the starting 11?
It was the starting 11 I knew. I legit said he's going to put out this 11 and it's foolish. I already knew it.
You thought the starting 11 was foolish?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I knew it was going to be a dead 11, so I was like, all right, let's just run.
What would you have preferred in terms of that 11?
Different front three. 11. Different front three. No Agate, no Dalot, no Maguire.
Wow.
That would have been it. 100%.
You would have wanted them in the game, just not starting?
I wanted Agate, yes, to an extent, because I know what you can give. Dalot, maybe to an extent.
Dalot had a good game here and there. Was he not
good finish? Yeah. Who was that? Let me ask you, who was at fault for the third goal?
See, there you go again. I know these players made mistakes.
No. We don't need the fifth degree. I just want an answer to the question. Who made the mistake for the third goal?
No, but see,
say the name because, like you said, who? When I said Harry Maguire, so who made the mistake for the third goal?
But this is the messed up part. This is the messed up part, Flawless. Like in a moment where you should be celebrating, you should be talking about these players and what they came through, what they were able to do.
I did that. You missed that part.
Yeah, conveniently.
I said that. I say it again. And I've been saying it, said it on the Match Tracks, and say it. I've watched these players give up on countless occasions this season and previously. They could have easily done that again. They didn't. Credit to a T to them. Because when it goes 4-2, it's dead and buried. I thought it was over. Props to them players.
But not just the players.
The moment they did it.
Ooh, did I freeze or did he freeze?
To the manager too, 100%. Am I back? Let us know. Am I back? It might be on my end. It's probably my end. Am I back?
Yeah. You're good.
Yeah. Am I back? Yeah. As I was saying, yes. Props to the players to a T. Props to the manager as well.
Okay.
Because he was the one who. Because if we go out and he puts Maguire up front, everyone got jokes. He was the man smart enough to put Maino up top.
Yeah. He's making some adjustments.
He's making and he rectified it. And normally, I don't give credit for putting out fires that you started. However, with this one, I made an exception.
See, that's why we do battle back and forth sometimes.
Nah, this one I made an exception.
All right.
But I'm still gonna be fair. I'm still not just gonna overlook that and scratch that. I'm still not gonna not mention it. But you deserve your flowers because we got through. Because if we went out, everybody would be crashing on the team and the manager, including myself, and rightfully so. So the fact that we got through, well done. You lot did enough good over the 2 legs to get through. There was much more good than bad. Granted, they ain't up to much. I think they're a poor side. However, we've been getting beat by poor sides all season long. So
you guys are a poor side too, though.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%. Not disputing that. We are a poor side. But you can do things in your power to work with what you have, us being a poor side. That's always been my major
Yeah.
issue. I know the
Yeah.
quality is not good, but you can still do better. You can still make better decisions, as I've
Mm.
seen in the Europa League, because you've made changes and made adjustments in previous games that has worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
The players have performed better in certain scenarios, so I know you're capable. As bad as I think they are, they're not this bad. They're not as bad as they've been, and that's shown it. You lot
I
can
think
fight. Where's
I
this
think
fight been in certain games? But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You're looking in the entire season and where's this fight been? But I think there was a certain point where, and these players are humans, right? They're not robots. These players at a certain point were like, it's nothing. There's nothing left to do in this league. It's over. We're not getting relegated. There's nothing we can really do to advance. Like, if you're not first, who cares whether you're second, third, or fourth, or if you're not in Europa, or sorry, if you're not playing for Europe, what's the point, right? So I think a lot of these guys kind of like down tools. They're like, yeah, we're gonna focus on Europe. We're gonna focus on trying to salvage this season because the Prem season was done. That's been done. So so some of the United fans I think are overly critical for how they're playing right now in the Prem.
How to be
recognize that there's nothing to play for.
Yeah, it's not, and it's been that way for time. That's not my issue. But even though there's nothing to play for, there's a way to go about your business. And more so, it's where I criticize the manager for playing certain players. Something me and you have had back and forth on.
Yeah,
when I've made the exact same statement you've made in regards to not playing for anything. Try different things. You have nothing to lose. Try players.
Yes and no. You have nothing to
What
lose.
Does he have to lose?
You have nothing to lose with regards to the standings, but you do have something to lose with the player's confidence, a player's willingness. Because again, I'm told all the time, you guys are mighty united. The badge is heavy, right?
Never forget.
You don't want these young players to kind of have a stinker, or to kind of quote unquote have these debuts or be tested and really not look to be up for it.
What youngsters have? So out the youngsters who's played, who's had a stinker?
No, see, that's my point. You've been wanting these players to play sooner. This manager has brought them on, which I think has been appropriate, and they haven't had stinkers. So that's why we have our kind of back and forth, because you wanted them sooner. I said, hey, I think he knows the timing. I think he knows what's right. The youngsters come on. No, but hold on. The youngsters come on. Has there been a youngster that's come on and you said they've had a stinker?
No. Because he's only played them because he's had to.
See, no, now you're
no. So tell me, no, it's not moving the goalpost. No, it's not moving the goalpost. Tell me when we've had a fully fit squad and the youngsters played. Don't worry, I'll wait. Exactly. You have Google, you can go check it.
He's never played a youngster.
He's never played a youngster when we've had a fully fit squad, unless we've had injuries. That bench of kids that he took when we was at Spurs is because we was down to bare bones injury. He played a mass. Because he quote unquote, actually, let me tell a lie. He played, because we don't even have a fully fit squad now. He played a mask because quote unquote he was resting dog, he said. Same way he rested.
So he rested.
Same way he no, actually, well, it was claimed that Onana was dropped for a mental health break, but whatever that means. But you rested him, you didn't drop him.
Don't dismiss mental health. What do you mean?
No, I dismiss mental health when you cause the issue on yourself.
You can't.
Of course.
You're victim blaming right now.
If it's your fault, yes, it's your fault. You said that bullshit. That's your fault. That's your fault.
Wait,
if you tell me, if you say Flawless, I'm gonna go fight such and such and fuck someone up, and you have no business going to fight them, and they beat you up, and you come back to me complaining, that's your fault. What are we talking about?
Okay, I get that.
You did that.
How does he cause his own mental? How does he cause?
No, that's where it was. No, it was from that, because then he made the mistakes afterwards and the whole thing with the Lyon crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the point I'm making.
Gotcha.
You opened your mouth and said we were a better side than Lyon. Like you mentioned, we're a poor side. Shut up. You had no business saying that to Lyon. And then went back and forth with Matic for whatever reason, I don't know. Then was trolling the Lyon crowd and then made two mistakes. And then the manager said he needs a break. So I need a break. That's who needs a break. I need a break. But back to what we were saying anyway. The youngsters who have played, it's all been because of injuries. Because if Ahmad, Dalot were both fit, whichever one of them is not playing would have taken that place in that game. It wouldn't have been Amas. Heaven only played because we had centre-back injuries.
Okay.
Cheetah only played because we had striker injuries.
But hear what you're saying. If the players you mentioned, Ahmad you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he's not playing or if he's not available, or sorry, if he's available, he should play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you
I have no issue
understand
with
him
that.
not playing a youngster when he has that player in
Not
front of him.
no, not in front of that man. Should you be playing a youngster in front of Dalot, who's been awful all season? Yes, because you should hold players accountable for poor performance. Something he's not done. He did it at the start, but then he stopped doing it. That's why you have two attackers who went 20 plus games without a goal, and you continue to play them. You want to talk about hurting their confidence? I've been in that situation. Obviously, not at professional football, but I've been in that scenario playing football when the person playing my position is performing terribly. Nothing pisses me off more. Nothing has annoyed me more, and I've confronted managers about it. Nothing annoys me more. If there's a player playing in front of me.
Wait, hold on. Before, how did you confront the manager with regards to that?
I'd be like, what's going on? Pretty much. I'm like, why is such and such playing? Like, what's happening?
Okay, so on the training pitch, you're better than him.
I'm just no. He's just performing poorly. Is my point.
Okay.
But more time, I let people see. I let managers like, all right, you gonna see it yourself because other players are gonna say it.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, what are we doing out here? Like playing. Like if you play someone who's better than me, cool, no issue whatsoever. But if someone's performing poor, more poor,
they're having a bad game. I got you.
Or if you're playing, and I had this a couple of times, more so less than that. It's not even players performing poorly now. I think about it. Players who don't play my position playing ahead of me. That's a liberty.
Oh, okay.
Because you're showing me the level. Don't put no center back in DM. Don't do that.
I got you.
That's where my issue lies.
Unless it was a game where there were going to be a lot of crosses.
Yeah, if it's tactical, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they wanted someone.
I'm saying on a regular, I'm not daft. Yeah, aerially, if it's physical, I'd say play him. I'd say, hey, you know what? Play him. Like he's better suited to this than me.
Yeah, you'd be like, play him. I got to keep my face right for the weekend because I'm gonna meet up with the ladies. That's what. Yeah, I hear you. I just
gotta keep my face right for me. This guy said for the ladies. I like how I look. I don't know what you talking about. This guy joke like he ain't the same. Oh, you gotta keep your face right for the ladies.
Nah,
you like your face for you first and your wife second. This guy. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Look at you and your wife watching this. She knows this. You like your face first for you. It's second to her.
No, I hear it. But if I got a job to do on the pitch, you know what I mean? I got to do the job on the pitch.
Yeah, sure, because you're really so combative and brave. You'll do what Yoro did yesterday and block a shot with your face.
Listen. That you're giving him mad praise. Like Yoro's one of your he's one of your guys. Like
I'm someone who's defended him when he's been criticized over the top. Like the criticism I think he received was way over the top earlier on in the season, and he's gotten better.
He's getting that criticism because you like to gas your players.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, you stole one from Real Madrid and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
I have no issue with that. But I like to know where it comes from when people are criticizing. Oh, it's because you lot gassed him. I'm like, all right, how many people watched him? That's what we have to take into consideration. People don't be watching Ligue 1. Is it Rennes he came from? I think it was. No one's watching Rennes versus Lyon on a weekly basis, or Rennes away to Saint Etienne, or Rennes at home to Toulouse. Let's be there's the odd one. Let me clarify that. Steve and Kaneki, and there's the football aliens out there that do that. But I'm saying for the most part.
I hear it.
That's what I'm saying.
I hear it.
That's it. So in regards to that, but yeah, where was we at? Because you always like taking us off.
No, I mean, I like the breakdown with regards to United. I like the fact that there's some praise or some criticism that you're giving. There's a little understanding more with the manager. I think your fan base was also incredible. Like the ultra.
Oh, the place was rocking. I know people that was there. Like my cousin was there. He was rocking.
Yeah. So
I know there's a few others. Like Aaron was there. There's a few other content creators who were there as well. Type of thing. So I was like, of course.
And again, this is your season. Europa is your season. This is the trophy to go out and win. Are you guys considered favorites at this point, or one or two of the favorites?
We're considered favorites, I think, by the English bookmakers, but we are far from favorites. The favorites are Bilbao. Anyone telling you any different is just on cloud 9. Heads in the clouds.
Have they gone undefeated in Europa?
No. Who did
you guys have?
No. Yeah. But are we better than Bilbao?
Are you getting any bodies back for the semis?
Ahmad. Just Ahmad.
Could
be. Just Ahmad. There's no one else.
That's a lot, though.
Who else is out? Oh yeah, I'm over the. I've
No,
said
you said
on
that
rec-
just like it's kind of
no,
underwhelming.
just Ahmad in regards to saying he's the only one. There's no one else coming back.
I expected you to be like, I'm out the way Arsenal fans talk about Saka return.
Yeah,
Like,
because you want me to gas it. I'm not going.
No, I don't want you to gas it. I just
this guy thinks he's slick, you know. But
I'm just saying the way
I've said on
Arsenal fans
record, the only way we win this competition is if Ahmad and Maino are playing and fully fit and starting.
Okay.
If those two are on the pitch starting games, then we have a chance. If they are not, it decreases our chances significantly in winning this competition. I don't want to play Bilbao. Stylistically, they're all wrong for us.
Do you now know who's home first?
They're away first.
Nice. That's favorable.
Yes. That is favorable.
Okay.
That is a benefit. Keep the tie alive. And I said that about Lyon and Sociedad, and then we did. We got through. I was disappointed with those two results, which is credit to our performance in those two legs. Bilbao going to be better. Go on.
Let's say this right now. Let's not change our energy. Let's not do any remixes.
What we saying? Go on. What's this?
The league doesn't matter. Whatever performances you see in between of the matches for Europa, don't talk to your fan base. Tell them stop with this meltdown.
My fan base don't listen. My fan base don't listen to me.
No, but you got to tell them because I tune in to hear.
I'd just be giving my opinion, but in regards to it, I'm not really I'm in agreement with you, which is crazy. I'm not really too fussed about the league. Actually, crazy. You're surprised by that.
Why are you saying that's crazy?
Because it is, because you actually made a valid point with no loaded question, with no loaded meaning behind it. See, I read in between the lines with you. That's why.
That's crazy.
It is, but he did actually say this, which has now made me more interested in watching the Wolves game, and I might actually miss it. Was he's going to rest players in Europa League and rotate in the Premier League? That's what he said.
Nice. So,
which you should have been doing anyway.
No.
Could have been doing this.
Oh, see, you always do that. You always do that. Should have been sooner. Stop it. The manager, it's his first season. The pace on how he's figuring all these things out, he's got decisions or he's got a certain process on why he's deciding when to do things. The fact that he's doing
working.
It with regards to Europa, of course.
No, not Europa. Is the process working in the Premier League?
Time will tell.
No, because is it working right now? We've had enough time. We've had 20 plus.
No, games. Right now this is a free hit season. Flawless.
Oh, so the Premier League don't matter in regards to the results and performances. All right, that's to you. To me, results and performances matter.
Not this season.
Well, of course they do.
This is the man, Flawless. This is the man that wanted to stay at Sporting. He wanted to stay there. He's like, I want to finish out this season. I'm on a project. I'm really interested in going over to Manchester United, but I want to finish what I'm doing at Sporting. These guys came all heavy-handed, kind of like the way Real Madrid do their thing with regard to signings. They said, "Listen, Amarin, if you're coming here, you're coming now. There's no waiting. There's no letting the season run. I'm not calling you again. All right, Sir Jim or whoever within your board. They said if you're gonna be a United manager, you're doing it now. Didn't have an off season. Obviously, none of these players were bought for him. This is a free hit season, so." Yes, you guys have fallen off to what you may have competed for. But listen, you are where you are, but you're doing your thing in Europa.
Yeah.
Time will tell with regards to whether the tinkering, whether the experiments, whether the playing certain combination of players or not. That plays out next season. Next season, if you see this is the thing. If you see the same mistakes that he's making this season, in terms of not knowing who to play, not knowing who to drop, not knowing the rotations, the combinations, if he's doing that next season, have your meltdowns. Lose your mind. Tell him he's not learning anything. He's not smart. But I think he's using this to be like, let me see exactly what I can and cannot do.
We know this. You should know this by now. That's my issue. You mentioned decision making. You have to be you're kind of like the board, actually. Just indecisive, which is why we are large in part in the mess we're in. Just the boards.
Yeah, I see them. I see this as a difference. I see this mess. I see this mess differently.
What is it a mess?
Your words. You said this. You wouldn't.
Do you know? I'm asking you. Your words. I'm asking you. Do you think it's a mess?
I think it's a purge. That's what I think it is. I think it's a cleanse. You guys have been so toxic over there. You guys have been, obviously, you've been wasting money. You've been having way double the staff of other clubs.
Yeah, we know all that. So you don't look at Manchester United right now and think we're a mess as a football club?
Oh, you were a mess prior to Ineos.
So you don't think we're
prior
a mess
to
now?
Amarin. Oh, you're being cleansed right now. You're being purged right now.
Do you think we're a mess, right? So you think they're cleaning up a mess?
This is
so
a
we're
cleaning
still a mess, but they're cleaning up.
Yeah, you were. So you were a mess. You are a mess, but it's a lot of cleansing is happening.
Do you think it was smart to go get Amarim in the way they did?
Yes.
Okay.
For two reasons. I think you gave Ten Hag enough rope so the fan base that thought that he should stick around.
You always want to wait, man. You always want to wait. We'll go on.
Wait.
I'm just saying. Ten Hag enough rope. He had enough rope.
Apparently, you guys have the largest fan base in the world, whatever. So you don't want your fan base split. You want
the fan base. The fan base is always split. Fan base wanted Fergie out at times, but people won't know that. Who cares what the fan base went? And he's still successful after that.
Yeah, but those were minor. It wasn't as
major. One minor. They were saying people were talking about it regularly. It just wasn't spoken about. It just wasn't spoken about on socials because it wasn't around. But there was a time our fan base wanted him out. There was a time the Stretford them was singing about Fergie out. He needs to go, but people don't know these things.
No,
I'm old enough and from Manchester to know these things.
No, I know that too. But again, I know that too. But that's also let's also understand that it was a different time. It was more local. It was more, again, that was print times. That wasn't social media times like you just mentioned. I think with how the media manipulates United fans, right? Because everything's clickbait, everything's interactions, everything's engagement. So the best thing to do is don't have any part of the United fan base split on whether Ten Hag needs to remain here because he took it down so poorly. The run was so bad. He got his investments in the transfer window, but he was looking so poor that no United fan should actually say.
And you shouldn't have been there. That's where my issue lies. But we're going off track. But you shouldn't have been in that scenario.
But I'm just saying. Just saying, if he was let go in the summer after winning the FA Cup, then that fan base is definitely split because they're like,
who cares? Make decisions. You're not here to please us. You're here to do what's best for Manchester United Football Club in your heart and win football matches and win trophies. I keep saying this, including myself. Fuck the fans. Do what you're supposed to do.
You got to manage the people.
And the thing is, they agreed to get rid of him. So that's how I know all of that is nonsense, what you just said. They agreed to get rid of him. They did agree to get rid of him.
They agreed to get rid of the...
They agreed to get rid of him.
Flawless. Let's not do that.
They agreed to get rid of him.
Let's use complete sentences instead of partial sentences. They agreed to get rid of him with an adequate replacement. They're not going to get rid of him.
It's not no adequate replacement.
Yes, it is.
And that goes to show how poor your recruitment was in the fact that you only had one person to go for. What club has one target? They interviewed one man. Google it if you don't believe me.
They only interviewed Tuchel.
Yes, because I know what I'm talking about. Yes, they only interviewed Tuchel. And then the Tuchel thing fell through and they went and got Ten Hag back. This guy act like I don't know what I'm talking about. They had one target. So you know to do your research with me because you know I know what I'm talking about. They had one target and because it fell through, they went back to Ten Hag. What are we talking about here? Please, I beg. They never interviewed De Zerbi. There was no interview. That would have been everywhere. They might have put out feelers and things of that nature, but they never sat down and interviewed De Zerbi. Okay, the only person they sat down and interviewed was Tuchel, which is terrible in itself. But I'm not even going to.
So the Southgate rumors, those were false.
They were false. Yeah, they was all rubbish.
And what about Slot? Slot wasn't on the short list.
He might have been on the short list. Maybe. Like De Zerbi probably was on the short list. But when we're talking about sitting down and interviewing managers, the only one they did was Tuchel. So again, this ties in. The more we get into this conversation, the worse they're going to look. Because the fact in itself that you only had one target and it was Tuchel are two major red flags anyway. And then the fact your backup plan was, let's go back to the last guy who didn't work and give him they gave him two managers. That's how bad that's how low they fought. I've never seen that ever in football. Ever. No stress. Oh, yeah. But I can't gaslight me about this. I interviewed one man. But to Khaled, who's asking here, who says, Flawless, are you hammering him out? No, big up to you. No, I'm not hammering him out. I'm not. I'm not. Absolutely not. Where did De Zerbi say that a contract was offered? Let's see this. Let me have a look. And he turned it down. Let's see this.
Yo, no, you can't be Amarin out. I don't care.
No, I'm not. I'm just going to get to it.
Yeah.
Hey, let me see this.
Amarin's still your manager, right, Paulus?
Yeah. 1 second. I'm going to get to this. I'm just reading something. Yeah. Okay, so you're right. So De Zerbi too, which I missed, which in itself is worrying. What?
Why? Wait, why is that worrying?
Do you know what's going on with De Zerbi and Marseille?
Okay, so a manager. Oh my gosh, a manager can have a poor run, but from a philosophy standpoint,
a poor run. No, it's not a poor run. Do you know what's going on off the field there?
No, I don't. Off the field, no.
Yeah, at Marseille.
Like some domestic stuff.
Yeah, it's just craziness off the pitch. Talk about him locking players in, not locking. Locking the team? 1 second. Hold up. I want to make sure I get this right.
So he's got creative...
Wait, hold up. No. I'm going to tell you now. 1 second.
Can we not summarize it as creative managerial?
Nah, I'm going to make sure I get it right. Wait 1 second. De Zerbi, Marseille, trouble. Let me check. Training. What is it? Is it training dispute?
Flawless accused me of gaslighting.
Look, De Zerbi was so angry with his team after I lost the reins that he refused to run a training session this week, leaving it to his staff, and that the club's director of football had to intervene to diffuse the dispute as many players felt humiliated. And he's come out and said, I'll almost leave as well. So the point that I'm making is I don't think there's different being at Marseille than it is at Brighton. That's what I'll say to that. To just say, hey, you man are this bad that I'm refusing. What would he have done here? With our poor squad under the pressure. What would he have done here? And you know what? I would have backed him if he refused to train some of them. So I stand corrected people. De Zerbi too. So they were the two. Tuchel and De Zerbi, and then they went back to
All right, so yeah, I mean, I wasn't gaslighting in terms of...
No, it was because it's still terrible regardless. Your short list of managers should be longer than 2. It should be longer than 3. It should be longer than 4.
But you guys don't have the flex anymore.
It should be longer than 6. We don't have the flex to do...
You guys don't have the flex to go out and get managers out of current managerial jobs.
Of course we can. Of course we do.
What?
We just went and got Amarin before he was one of the most sought after managers. Of course we can.
No. But again, he's a promising manager, right?
Well, I'm cool with that.
After what you saw Arteta do,
don't go get Arteta.
Ancelotti. No, what you saw him do. Do you still want the Don?
I would say no. I wouldn't take Ancelotti in this scenario. No, because he's on the retirement thing.
What? Wait, didn't you want him last year?
I would have took him last year. Yes. Did you see the scenario we was in?
So 1 year now you don't want him.
It is with Don Carlo. It's kind of like no, not in this because it's new ownership. I would have took him under the last ownership. This ownership, no.
Okay.
That's the difference. The ownership is new things. It's like, all right, cool, because I know our board don't have the old regime, don't have no forward thinking planning. It's just win. So with Ancelotti, with that, yes, because other managers went under that. Cool. But Ancelotti under this, I don't want that for him. One of my favorite managers. I don't want to see him suffer. My favorite managers.
That was tough to watch. Tough to watch.
They'll get over it. He'll be all right. Khalid says, are you? So yeah, to answer this, no, I'm not hammering out. Like Prime said, I'm hammering fix the fuck up. That's where I'm at. And I want these players to go before the manager goes. I want these players, no more clean slates, no more fresh starts. Forget all of that. Want the players gone. And then if the manager goes with them after that, cool. No issues with that whatsoever.
I like that.
But we need new players because even if we go get a new manager tomorrow, we need new players. Go bring in players. No, we got here.
Is there someone in your chat over the shows that you do that's like really heavy in the academy that knows what's happening at Manchester United's academy?
What, someone I know? Oh, someone in the chat.
Someone in the chat that kind of tells you no, because I asked that only because because you're gonna want a massive exodus of players. You're gonna want a huge influx of players. I'm just asking. I'm just curious. Like, is there 1, 2 promising academy players where you're like,
oh, you're talking about is there players within the youth that people are talking about? There's a few.
There's a few. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few. And whether there's a few or not, you're at Manchester United Academy playing. They can do no worse. I keep saying this. The bar is on the floor. You can only equally do just as bad.
Now
I can go out there and do what Højlund does.
Don't do that.
What do you mean? Don't do that. So you telling me I'm not capable of going out there and not scoring in 20 games? Is this what you're telling me?
Why
are you telling me I'm incapable of that?
All right. Has Højlund? All right. Okay. Forgive me. I'm over here in North America. I happen to sometimes watch a sport called the NHL. All right. That's hockey. They have this thing which I think is brilliant, because if you watch the game, and we've all watched it, sometimes you can have influence and not be the assister. So in hockey, you have, like, you get registered for an assist, whether you're the first or the second player to have given the pass, right? So the assist to the assist. Has Højlund not been in the mix with regards to his hold-up play, his bodying of defenders, running into space?
He don't body defenders. He don't run into space.
Taking players out of position, occupying one or two defenders.
He don't occupy anybody, and he's the terrible decoy runner. I keep telling you this. He does nothing.
So, all right, if he can't do any of those, then yes, you're right. You could be.
He can't do anything. I've been saying this. I've been telling you that. You watch our games.
I don't.
Did you watch yesterday?
I watched. No, I watched. When I messaged you was when I was watching. So
all right, cool. Yeah. So if you go back and watch, and you see he played, and even though we actually played well and attacked, he wasn't involved. Garnacho actually played well. Yeah, they actively
did play well.
Yeah, they even though he should have been, like, Ahmad's tweet was hilarious as well about him, like, almost costing us the game. But the players actively don't pass him the ball.
You think that's by design?
Yeah, of course. No, that's by don't pass him the ball. That's what that is. You've played football. I've played football. I don't know actually if you have done this. I played in like 5-a-side teams, 6-a-side teams where I play is terrible.
At striker, that's
no matter where you are. Whoever, striker, midfielder, defender.
At striker,
I play is terrible, and I know
but flawless.
Certain players go on.
Once the other team have clocked that you're not passing it to them,
yeah,
that's a problem. So
this is why we don't score goals. Because then we also have Garnacho, who's supremely limited as well. Not as limited as Højlund, but is supremely limited as well. Even though he played well yesterday. And the fact that he's played well in this competition tells you all you need to know about the state of this competition.
So how you feeling? How you feeling for the rest of the tournament?
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Because it's a semi-final in Europe and we can win it. We can. We just got to win 2 games out of 3 and remain undefeated. Can we win it? Yes.
Okay.
Will we win it? The whole comfortable conversation.
No.
But this way, one thing I like about this Bilbao tie is I think it's our final. I think if we win this semi-final, I think we win the tie.
Oh, wow.
I think we win the competition.
Ooh.
I think we beat Spurs or Bodo Glint in the final.
I don't like that energy.
Why don't you like that energy? How you don't like my opinion?
No, your opinion's fine.
How you don't like it? So
but I don't like the energy that once you've gotten past the semis, whoever's on that other side, you're beating. Like,
because I don't rate either side on the other side. Is it okay?
You haven't suffered a loss to Spurs this season.
Yeah, Spurs have beaten us. Poor sides have beaten us before.
So what are you
that
talking
don't mean
about?
I rate you. So just because they beat us means I don't think we can beat them. I think they're a terrible side. Wow. I'll always be confident against, even though we're a poor side, I'll always be confident against the poor side because they're poor.
You know, Ange.
Always wins in the second season.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I did hear that. I don't know where that actually comes from. So I don't know where he's managed. I don't even know where he's managed. I know he managed in Scotland, and did he manage in Australia, right?
Let me ask you 2 questions.
Go on.
From a football standpoint,
yeah,
who would you want to face in the final? And then from a channel standpoint, who would you want to face in that final?
From a footballing standpoint, in the sense of what do you mean? Who do I think we have a greater chance against? You ask me that. Bodo Glint. Bodo Glint.
Okay.
And from
a channel standpoint,
I think a channel would be equal.
What?
Because I think here's why. Let me explain.
Yeah, I'll let you explain.
From the Spurs standpoint, if we play Spurs, that would just be a hate watch. because people despise, like, the London teams despise Spurs. Like, I've spoken to Pot, Northside, Dunsey, TJ, Tony. That's just five.
So you're gonna have massive United support in that final.
Yes,
is what you're saying. Okay.
Because of the hate for them, but then there'll also be massive Manchester United hate because there's you lot, there's Liverpool, and there's people who just dislike Manchester United just in general. So it'd be like a supreme hate watch. However, on the flip side with Bodo Glint, I think everyone wants to be there to see us lose a final to a Norwegian side. That's why. I think like there's losing a European final. Like, to Villarreal is one thing.
Yeah.
But to lose it to a side, bear in mind they're the first Norwegian side to reach a semi-final in Europe, I think. I think that's what Jez said. So I think, so they'd be the first Norwegian side not only to reach a final but win it. And it happened to be against, so like, the embarrassment of that is why I think people would tune in for.
Ooh.
That's why when I think people would tune in just for the shit. Like, if people could pick a team for us to lose to out of the 4 left in the final, it would be Bodo Glint.
See, either scenario is nasty. The fact that they losing to them would be wild. Yeah. Losing to listen, the way it's looking, and I know we'll also talk about Champions League, but for a club to win the trophy that they've never won before, or to end a long drought, which Spurs could do against a United, flawless. You might have to take 48 hours off. You might have to take 2 days off if you give Spurs their first
and miss out on we'll get banned, but miss out on everyone crying that Spurs won a trophy. Are you crazy? As much as it is that, I said this on, shout out the Red Cartel, Redmen TV. Playing Spurs, of course I want Manchester United to beat, but I said the only silver lining, and I said scratch that. The only gold lining, and I said scratch that. The only platinum lining, if we lose to Spurs, is seeing Arsenal fans have an absolute meltdown, especially if they don't win the Champions League.
Wait, what do you mean? Especially, you think they have a chance of winning the Champions League?
Nah, I don't. I think they make the final though, so I think they'll be in the final 10 days later.
Oh, okay.
I think they get past PSG. Similar to the Europa League, I think the winner. I think Inter Barca is the final before the final.
Oh, okay. So you're playing the finals and the semis, like Inter and Barca would playing the finals and the semis, because whoever's coming out of that side, you think is winning.
Like, I think the winner of the Barca Inter tie wins the competition. The winner of us versus Bilbao wins the competition, in my opinion.
So this is.
That's what it is. Same way when you lot played Madrid and Haaland and De Bruyne got tired, the winner of that quarterfinal was going to win the competition that year. That was the final before the final.
Yeah.
It was the final. Like I said it verbatim. Yeah. That's why you lot will go win that.
Yeah.
If you lot would have got through, you win that Champions League, in my opinion.
Yeah, versus Dortmund. Yeah, I'd agree.
Who was it? Dortmund, and who did they face in the semifinal? Who did they face? I can't even remember.
Who?
Real Madrid faced after you lot.
Real Madrid had to face. Oh, there's controversy there.
Who did they? Hey, chat, let us know.
Hold on, I should know this because it was controversial again.
Hey, chat, let us know.
I hate that I can't remember that.
After they knocked out City, who did they play in the semi-final when they won it against Dortmund? Was it last year? I'll double check anyway. Give me a sec. Hey, Prime, it saves me Googling it. Who did Real Madrid play in the semi-final last year? Before they played, was it last year? Nah, it wasn't last year. I think it was whenever they knocked out City.
No, it was last year.
Was it last year? That was it only last year?
Yeah, it was last year. Why is that annoying me? Because it was drama again.
Time ago. So you played Madrid in the quarterfinals last year?
Yeah.
And lost on penalties. Was that only last year? Why did I feel that was 3-4 years ago? You know what it is? It's because you played them often. That's why. They played Bayern. So Madrid played Bayern. Was it?
Why was it controversial again? They
played Bayern. It wasn't. And Bayern weren't good. That Bayern side.
Well, they weren't good, but it was still a controversial win.
Yeah, it probably was. But the point I'm making is, I look at it, that quarterfinal between you two. I look at the Europa League semi-final.
I hear
it. The Champions League semi-final the same. But I think Arsenal get past PSG. Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Bayern beat Arsenal in the quarters. Yeah, they did. So that's where it stems from. So that's the only platinum lining if we did lose to Spurs and Arsenal do lose the Champions League final, which I will think will happen.
All right.
That shit'll be hilarious.
All right. Spurs.
That's the moment. Like I'm like, all right, we lost. It's terrible, but just see Troop's miserable face after Spurs do that and they lose the Champions League. I'm here
Actually,
for it.
I got a lot of content I need to catch up with. I didn't catch back again this week. So I'm sure the energy was crazy on that one. I know Lewis is having a tough time these days. Chelsea
going through it.
Chelsea's having a rough. Newcastle are moving.
Lyon. I like Newcastle. I like their squad a lot.
This top 4, top 5 is going to be nice.
Well, go there. Let's go there because it involves you lot. You still confident of finishing in the top 5?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Top 4. Now top 5. Yeah, that's looking
you get
nice.
Past Everton, you beat Everton on the weekend.
You know what? Everton's a tough club, man. They gave.
I know normally I'd be like you're gaslighting it, but yeah, there is a tough time.
I don't gaslight competition. I respect them. Everton gave this season's champions a tough go. Liverpool, had a very difficult time versus Everton. Arsenal, 2 years back-to-back runner-ups to the Prem. They suffered to Everton. I'm not going to look at them lightly. I do know how important it is to get a win, because we need the 3 points. A draw isn't the end of the world, but a win would be really good. And then after Everton, we play Villa. Yeah, after Everton, we play Villa midweek. This is a heavy week. This is a heavy week, Flawless. I got to play Everton weekend, Villa midweek, FA Cup semis.
Yeah, against Forest, 27th.
Yeah.
You'll be there for that too.
Nice.
Then you got favorable. Nice. Then you play Wolves at home and Southampton away. They're very favorable, unfortunately. And then you got Bournemouth at home will be tough, and then Fulham away. Hopefully you don't make it, but unfortunately, I think you will.
You don't want us to make top 5?
No, of course not.
So who are you comfortable winning the league next year? Because if you don't have City in a mix to do it, who might as well just say, okay, I'm okay with Liverpool or Arsenal winning it. Who do you want?
I'm not okay with any of my ups. You know me well enough. I'm never okay with any of my ups winning anything.
Of all the 3 ops.
Let me say this. I wish zero success for all my football ups. I want City to be successful at no level. I don't want you to have any success. I don't want you winning a football match. I want you barely existing. I want you lot on life support machine with the machine. It's like, beep, just so we know you're alive. I want you lot in league. I want you lot in Conference North. That's what I want for you lot.
See, this is where you show your fraudulence. This is where you show your fraudulence.
Because I want bad for the ops. You know what ops are, right?
I do know what ops are, but
okay. So why is me saying I want bad for my ops crazy? I want you to go out of existence. I don't want that for you.
Because flawless. Listen, let me.
What's the question? What's the question, Dunsey? What's the question? Go on.
Let me point it this way, because I'm sure you see yourself as the hero, right? You see yourself as
hero where? Where do I see myself?
I'm just saying. With
regards I'm just a normal guy. I don't see myself.
Okay, your club. You see your club as the good club, the hero.
No, I don't see my club as the good club. No, let's clarify that. Absolutely not.
All right, here we go. For there to, you can't have you honestly. If you break this down, you can't have joy without pain. You can't appreciate the sunshine without rain.
Facts.
All right. So if you're going through this season or future seasons, and you don't have, quote unquote, because I know you see yourself as I'm going to say the hero. Don't fight me on this one. But if you don't have a Lex Luthor to battle, if you don't have a Joker to fight, if you don't have a Darth Vader to go after, it's meaningless.
No, it's not, because we've created Lex Luthors and Jokers, and they was fine battles when we battled Chelsea.
Yeah, okay.
Let us battle Chelsea. We battled Newcastle for a title. Let us battle Chelsea and Newcastle.
They're not in a position to win it.
Yeah, if you lot disappear, then they will be in a position to win it. They're above you right now. You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about?
Yeah, right now.
Right now, better be careful. You know what I'm saying? Newcastle might just come take your chain. Now what?
Okay, let's relax. If Newcastle is taking,
we know you're gonna blow money, but hey, it might not work. It didn't work in January.
Newcastle is taking anyone's chain, flawless.
Yeah.
you better keep yours tucked in. I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
they're
I'm red
not
on
taking
yo,
mine.
I'm red on Friday. I'ma tuck mines in. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I tuck mine in, yo. I'ma tuck mine in, yo. I'm
When
red on Friday. What we doing?
when Newcastle come through, you better tuck that chain in.
Yeah, I'm
That's all
tucking
I'm
my
saying.
shade. Red, man. I'm red on Friday.
If
That's
they
right. I'ma
if
tuck
they
mine
ask
in.
you what time it is, don't look at your watch. If they
Yeah,
ask you what time it is, don't act like you got a
I
cell
got
phone.
watch. Nah.
I'm telling you, if they're coming for anybody, they're coming after United. But I think we got this top 5, to be real with you. I think
Yeah, I
City
think
got
you
this
do,
top 5
unfortunately, too. Yeah, I do. But why are you shocked that I want City to not finish top 5?
because we're the lesser evil of the
You,
other evils.
to me, yes, but you're still an evil.
I got you.
Same way I
But
wouldn't want Leeds to come up, even though they're a lesser evil than you lot to win the league.
no, I hear.
Because
I understand your Leeds hate. That makes
yeah,
total sense from a
because like
Manchester
you're third
standpoint.
on
I
my
get
list,
that.
like Leeds are fourth. You know what I'm saying? You're third.
Okay, but and this is what I'm pointing out, because you got Liverpool and Arsenal up there. Listen, we are the best antidote. We are the best cure for that
No, you don't,
poison
because
of
I have to see your
Liverpool.
smiling face on a weekly basis. So
Uh,
no, it's not the best antidote to see your smug
oh yeah.
smiling.
So you'd
Championship
rather see
smile.
Tony and TJ's
No, I'd
face?
rather see not. Rather see none of them. To be honest, I don't want to see no Monts, nobody else, not Lex, none of you City fans, and no. I don't want to see any of you. Look, zero.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Zero.
From a content standpoint, us all this doing this YouTube,
Yeah.
there needs to be a tier list. But trust me, from a less less annoyance, kind of cool, kind of calm with it, acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm top tier. Everyone else, they get under your skin. They irritate you. You listen.
You
This
irritate me. Don't do
nah,
that.
but I'm the lesser of all of those guys. Come on,
I
be
don't know
real,
about
bro.
that. No, it's just all different. You know what I'm saying? Yours is
Yeah,
more surgical. You know what I'm saying? Because you just be saying stupid stuff in a smart way. And I'm like, yo, I caught what you said. You know,
yeah,
like, don't
but
get me misunderstood.
okay, yeah,
And then
okay,
the
but
Arsenal fans are just straight up annoying. And then you
and
got
rude,
Liverpool
and
fans who are
Liverpool
just
fans are
annoying.
just rude with it.
Yeah,
Liverpool
they just
fans are
annoying.
just
But I
rude.
don't want any of these things. I want zero problems. So you know what? Give the league to someone. Let someone else win it. Let Newcastle win it. Chelsea
But they're
win it.
not in a
There you go.
position yet. In 2 years,
Yeah,
Newcastle.
they might be. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they might be. I think in not
No one
next
thought
season.
Liverpool. No one thought Liverpool were in a situation to win the league, or very few, I should say. Now look, that could
I
be
don't want.
Newcastle.
That's true. But
Hey, hold on,
Newcastle.
but you know what? I'm saying it now. Magpies for the title next season when I get asked. There
No,
we
you
go.
see, you're
Let's
doing too
go.
much. You're doing too
There we
much.
go.
Not
They're
next
going
season,
into
man.
the window. They got Isak already. They already got the best striker in the country. I don't know about that Norwegian done. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about him. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? They got a better left winger Gordon than your boy Jeremy over there.
You really
You know what
don't
I'm
mean that.
saying?
You don't mean that.
Right hand side, they go get an Embremo. They go sign a Cunha.
You
They
don't
got
mean
Bruno G. It's Tanali. They just need a quality centre back, quality goalkeeper, and yo, they're gonna finish above you lot again. But go on, carry on. As you were.
See, this is when you do too much, and then now because you threw that stone, now I got to come back and throw a stone back. Listen, the whole thing with regards to what's happening next season, and you're doing too much with regards to what Newcastle can do. They'll challenge 100%. I'm not going to take that away from
I'm
them.
joking, people. It's all on the window, to be honest. It's so
Yeah.
It's so dependent on the window for everybody where
Absolutely.
I think everyone finishes.
And I think
I do have your top 7 actually. I've still got it. I'm gonna find it actually.
I got my top 7 right here. It's calm.
Oh, is it? Go on, what was your top
Actually,
7? Let's
it
see if
top
yours
7?
matches up with mine. Nah, it's top 8 actually. It's top 8. Top 8. Let's see if your top 8 matches up with mine.
Oh, you know what? This is when I was listening to way too many United fans at the time.
Yeah, sure. How convenient of you listening to way too many United fans. Yeah.
No, I mean,
why you did that.
I won't do that again.
Yeah, sure.
I won't make that mistake again. Who was it? Pogba said United fans don't know football. I should have listened to him. Now I had Manchester City. I got it here. You don't have to look it up. I had Manchester City.
Make sure it matches up. I just want to make sure your records match mine.
Go.
I know what you're like.
Manchester City, Arsenal. Wrongly had United third. I had Liverpool fourth. I had Liverpool fourth. Chelsea, Spurs, Villa, and actually Newcastle.
Yeah,
that was my order.
We had that conversation the 11th of the 9th, 2024.
The 11th, 9/11.
Yeah, 11th of 9th. Yeah, 11th of September. Yeah, I got it written down there. I got Jersey there and a few others as well. Primes there also.
Yeah, I'm not gonna change what
I
I
was
said
making
back
sure.
then.
I know you like you're cooking the books type of
Yeah.
done. That's why I had to make sure. You've been a tutorial guy. That's how you laughed. You ain't slick. That's
This
why I was
guy
like, let
said
me make
cooking the
sure
books.
you are a cooking the books type of guy. That's why I had to make sure your records match mine. That's why the guy had United, and we argued about this. This is the crazy part when you were telling me United third. You had to debate this shit. This is the maddest part. That the conversations I have to have. United third, my back foot, man.
I think. Well, unfortunately, we had a lot of the same player culture, player empowerment over there. They stopped playing for the manager. That was part of it. The manager wasn't doing what he needed to do, and all that stuff. We don't need to go over it. But when the transfer window does come around, that'll be a good combo. I do see Newcastle. They're on an upward now. The fact that they've got that league, they got the league trophy.
Yeah.
Next is the FA, of course. Next is seeing how they continue to perform in Europe, which they were playing in Champions League last season. So I think they'll be strong. Now, when you got spenders like Chelsea, when you got what's speculated to be big spending from Liverpool as well, and this is where flawless. Listen, when I say the lesser of two evils, we know Arsenal can't go out and win this Prem.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't worry about when you might. Arsenal, like we know Arsenal ain't winning the league. With
the
your
Tonys and the TJs, no, but the
Tonys
and the TJs.
Your boy Arteta's there. They ain't winning the league. I'm cool. That's why they ain't winning the champs. But go on, carry on.
Again, if Manchester City are not at the level, they're winning a Prem, and I think they're going to be better suited next season. So I need to be ready. Manchester City needs to be ready. So we need to stop. We need to stop Arsenal. Liverpool.
Stop Arsenal.
Liverpool need to be stopped. And again, this is a Manchester, right? Manchester United, man. You know, the men that we got to link up. The reason why I say that is because
you talking about
we got to link up. No, because they can go 21.
I see. Here the thing is,
Flawless, come on, you know this. Liverpool can't go 21.
I don't want Liverpool.
Stop it.
I don't want Liverpool to not win the league because it's 21st. I don't want them to win the league because they're Liverpool. It could be
but it's also 21.
Or it could be one. I don't care about all that. I don't care that it's 21. I don't want them to have one. No matter if it's their first or
they
31st.
also can't win back to back. We need to stop that.
That's where Manchester we are not capable. We don't have that.
Okay.
We don't have that.
That's why I'm saying
you gotta try to go for the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup. That's why.
Wait, what? You said going for the Champions? Oh, because you're winning Europa.
Yeah, because you got it. You guessed it, buddy.
Okay, so your mission's going to be that. My mission will have to
Our missions are different. You see, our dossier is completely different.
No. We can have different missions, but the side missions can complement each other.
Yeah, right? I don't want no side mission. There's no link up with you. I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with the blue side. You don't stay over there. Prime, I know you want your top 8 Prime. This is on the 12th of the 9th, 24. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, United, Spurs. That's yours. I don't know if you.
Prime's not bad. Prime's gotten better. Prime's gotten better with his takes. I've noticed he's having a good.
Prime. Yeah, Prime's very, very, very.
He's having a good second season, like second half of the season. Prime's been on point.
He is like Prime is normally ahead of the curve, especially when it comes to Chelsea.
Yeah,
especially. But with United, our Premier League is just about improvement across the board, being a competent unit and seeing where we're at. Goes. No, because the manager can lose his job.
Next season, not this season.
Yeah. No, that season. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. This season is a free hit. That's why.
This season it's like I actually want to see you rotate now. Let's see some of these youngsters because they might get incorporated next season. And if any of them are any good, you know what I'm gonna say. You could have actually probably used them.
No. See that. Yeah.
Maybe he can help us in the Europa League.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah.
So a player performs well, who you haven't been playing, then that means if you used him sooner, he could have been of help. Why is that crazy?
Maybe.
Why is that crazy? Why is that
not crazy? It's not crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's still a maybe, though. It's maybe.
Yeah, it's still a maybe, but run me the maybe because I know the knowns. Which is your boy, Højlund, who you said he's the 16th best striker when 0020. Yeah, him.
Yeah, but he's probably getting sold. You know what? Højlund needs to leave United. Like some of the players that have left, like, Anthony, like Rashford, just leave. Leave and have a better career elsewhere.
Yes.
100%. It's
Chernobyl.
It's Chernobyl. It's Chernobyl over at United, man. Toxic radiation.
Absolutely.
You're dying slowly over there.
When you're talking about Lions, Rashford can join you out of Europe. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. Big up to T. Buda as well. Says Vader, who's going to big up for the super chat, Guna. Hey, T-Dot, it's been a minute, man. I think that's T-Dot you I know. If not anyway, but big up to you. Says Vader, who's going to win the Champions League?
Ooh. What, T-Dot, you're asking me this in the set with the semis. Why did you ask me who's winning the semis?
No, well, all right. I'll ask you both. Who's winning the semifinals first so we get to your final? You ain't getting out of this one. You ain't getting out of this one. Let's hear it. I've already given my prediction. So let's.
You've already given your predictions for who's winning the champs?
Yeah. I've already given my predictions. Yeah. I've given my finals. You know that I've got Arsenal Barcelona final. I said it before.
Yeah.
I didn't say about Barca, but I've got an Arsenal making the final. Now, I think it's Arsenal, Barca, and Barca win. What are you saying?
I think this is going to be a great matchup. I think it's PSG Arsenal, great matchup because you're going to see, because I rate PSG's midfield and their attack. I rate it highly. There's so much interchanging amongst those forward players. I think it's going to be a great chess match. I like to see how one manager decides to try and defend against the other, because I experience that all the time. I see managers always trying to, how are they going to look to stop City, right? So I think it's going to be really interesting. Momentum right now, I'm giving that to Arsenal. Because they're motivated because they got nothing to play for in the Prem. Absolutely nothing. But this matchup is going to be difficult because when I did my homework, T-Dot, I respect the question. When I do my homework, I look at also what they're doing within the league. PSG, they've ran away with Lyon. Like, that's done. They're not even concerned with whoever's second. So they can just put all their attention, focus on Champions League. But I'm giving a slight edge to Arsenal. So that's going to be Arsenal in the final. Now, on the other side, same reason why I kind of give Arsenal the edge is because of Inter and their defense. Your defense travels. You could play that home and away. And Inter were in the finals 2 seasons ago. They got slapped up by me, obviously, right? I had to break this whole Champions League heritage thing. But this is why you want to play the best, because when you play the best and you beat the best, you're arguably, actually, you're not. There's no argument. You are the best. I think it's going to be Inter and Arsenal in the final. And Inter weren't able to do what they had to do 2 seasons ago. They do it this season. Inter win Champions League. If I am to answer right now before seeing any games played in the semifinal. Obviously, T-Dot, we're going to be here. We're going to talk again. If things change, right? If I see things differently in the semis, I might change that opinion. But not seeing a game played, I got Arsenal and Inter. Inter winning.
In Milan. Interesting. Yes? We got a different final, but we both got Arsenal losing in the final. Let's hope that don't happen, because I wanted to make the final. I need semi-final heartbreak, but hey, we move.
Yeah, I mean, and this is listen, PSG can do a number because they showed Liverpool the business, and Liverpool, they're no joke defensively. So what they were able to do, and then it's also manager versus manager, right? That's also a dynamic that you got to look at. Which manager is going to be better prepared? I want to see that. I want to see that. PSG, Arsenal. Yeah, man. Next season, I need to get back in this Champions League, though, because...
Now we need you outside, because wait, let me actually check the table.
Oh, what's this guy? Check what table? Right. Champions League table? Or Prem?
No, the Prem. I don't need to check the Champions League table. So
yeah, I play tomorrow. 10 o'clock my time.
55 points. Yeah, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, UK time. So you're 5th, 55 points, 2 points behind Forest, 4 points behind Newcastle. Chelsea and Villa only a point behind you. Bear in mind, Newcastle play Villa as well. I just need Everton to do a job. Hopefully, Chelsea can beat Fulham. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wait. Hold on. Now, with you saying all of that, what do you want your top 5 to be?
Anything ABC, anyone but C.
So you're okay with Chelsea being 5th?
Yeah, cool. No problem. Chelsea don't bother me. We got all the same ups.
How come Chelsea don't bother you?
Because the enemy and my enemy is my friend. We have literally all the same ups.
So when it was Chelsea Mourinho times, you were
no, that was beef because we were competing for something, but that was only beef because of what we was competing for.
So how did what Chelsea did in their dominance is more than what Arsenal did.
Yeah, but it was only it was never beyond
Oh, because
competing
of the
for
short
trophies.
window?
Yeah, it's because we had nothing with Chelsea. It was just merely competition because we was in title races and competed in the Champions League. That's all. It was not beyond that. Like with Arsenal, it goes deeper than just football. These men were fighting in the tunnel. It's beyond football, that rivalry. And that's in before our time, the 80s. These men were scrapping on the pitch. I think it's still on YouTube. If you Google it, it'll pop up. There's a full-on scrap on the pitch.
The
Like
fact that you're
91,
still
92, which is early doors for me. I'm in the early 90s, baby. But yeah. Span
the
had a
fact that
full
you're so
22-man
calm,
dust up. But go on.
the fact that you're so calm and cool with Chelsea is
Because I know it annoys the ops as well. It pisses off Arsenal. That's also, and that's what I'm in for. If it pisses off Arsenal, I'm with it.
Okay.
If it pisses off Liverpool, I'm with it.
So you're okay with
my two main ops they don't like. They also don't like Leeds either. And you lot have certain because they beat you lot in the Champions League final as well. That's why they brought balloon Champions Leagues to your ground.
Yeah. I mean, they're
so I have 4 main ops and they have beef with 3 of them. Why would I not be cool with them?
No, that's fair. That's fine. I ain't mad at that.
There's a method to my madness. Oh man, my enemy's my friend. I ain't saying they're my friend, but their success or not.
What did you think of the other like news that was happening? Not necessarily league wise, but transfer news, departure news, staying news. Because we didn't speak when the Salah news, I should say, the Salah news kind of got revealed. We didn't speak when obviously Van Dijk news just got revealed. We didn't speak with the KDB news, right? So
KDB left. Let's hear your thoughts on that, man. Say your thoughts on KDB leaving. I got the remembrance picture in the back and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a show. About it. Because I gotta remind my City fans. I gotta let them know. Like, listen, it's time for KDB to go. KDB's been that guy. He's been amazing for us.
Him and the other Belgian should go. Well, we move.
The other Belgian.
You have another Belgian in your side, who's not a very good player. But hey, you lot continue to keep. Go on, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I think your blood sugar's low. You should eat something. I think with regards to KDB,
because I don't rate Jeremy.
you're loopy right now. Eat some food. The thing with KDB, it's time for him to go. Doku, I'll still give my man some time, but I need to remind my fan base. Like, listen, it's better, honestly, truthfully, it's better to let a player go a year early than a year late, because that year late taints your remembrance of the player. That year late has you talking bad about that player. That year late has you dismissing, because I've seen it. I've seen how they just dismiss all of the good stuff that happened. It wasn't too long ago. My whole fan base were talking about KDB. He's past it. Look at how he played in the Manchester derby. He's not up for it anymore. We can't lean on him. We can't rely on him. It's better for us to kind of phase him out and look forward. Just for him to put in an amazing performance, right? Puts in an amazing performance. We slap up 5-2 Crystal Palace. KDB was instrumental in that. And now you got the fan base saying, oh, maybe we should keep him. I'm going to remind everyone why it's time for KDB to go. And I think it's also important to recognize that the club's not going to put themselves in a position not to be thinking about winning moving forward. The whole maybe too loyal, the whole maybe having favoritism. We've never shown that. We've let the greats go. And when I say the greats, in terms of those that have brought us these consecutive prems, those that were actually been important to us, company, we said bye. Did we replace him like for like? No, but we said bye. We moved on when we got success. David Silva, same thing. We had to say goodbye. Even before those guys, Zabaleta, we had to say thank you, but it's time for you to move on. And he went up playing, over at West Ham. Like, we are letting go of KDB, who's following the lines of a Fernandinho, like I said, an Aguero, David Silva, Yaya Toure, Vincent Kompany, and we'll find the winning formula for whoever can be the player next, and it's going to be without KDB. I was hoping that he was going to give us one more year so that he could actually mentor whoever's next, But clubs like we can't justify what your salary might be and you playing a bit role. And then if he's playing a bit role, what's the bit role? He only plays Champions League games? No, that doesn't work because whoever you bring in, whoever's earning their spots, they are playing to want to play in Champions League. He can't just be a Champions League player. And then obviously he can't just be a Prem player. And he definitely can't just be a Cup player. He's not just playing in the League Cup or FA Cup. That doesn't make sense. So the club's making the right decision. His message was, was heartfelt, and he's still obviously playing for that badge, and he will always be a legend. He will always be a legend. And man, it's gonna be tough. That final day of the season, it's gonna be tough, knowing that he's gonna be moving on. There's forced whispers that he might be going to another club in the Prem. Stop it.
Yeah, his last game could be FA Cup for you lot.
Yeah,
could be FA Cup final.
Could be the FA.
FA, hopefully a loss, but do you think you win it? Why are you shocked by this? I'm Manchester United, of course.
I got to semi. No, I'm shocked because it's not necessary. The game doesn't get played for a couple of weeks. You can save all these throwing stones until later. It's
definitely necessary. You only see each other once a week, so I gotta make sure I throw these stones now. What are we talking about? That's delirious because you're talking about alliances and all this crap. So I just let you know there's no alliance over here.
I'm just saying, man. It's Easter Friday. And you're coming in with all this energy. It's ridiculous.
Facts. It's Fuxy, Easter Friday, Good Friday. Friday. If it's Christmas Friday, Valentine's Day on a Friday, St. Patrick's Day on a Friday, Valentine's Day on a Friday, Pancake Day on a Friday. Any day that ends in Y is fuck you lot. Let me just clarify that.
Wait until I get over there in the UK and I'll meet Mama Flawless and I'll tell her how abusive you are on the holidays with regards to Easter.
She knows this. She can't stand you like either. Like, what we talking about? My mom can't stand you like either.
Okay.
I can't stand you. You don't like City. Like,
hilarious.
What I'm saying.
So with regards to trying to close this season out, I'm not going to talk about the final. I got the semis to deal with. I got Forest FA Cup semifinals. We'll see where that goes.
Do you get past Forest? They've kind of been struggling as of late.
Yeah, their form's not looking that great. I think we got some wrinkles for them. I think we can get a positive result because they're going to be defensive, of course. Mm-hmm. That's their bread and butter. But I think for what I've been seeing as of late with what Pep's trying to do, and listen, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's not tinfoil hat, but when I've been talking to my City fans, right, late night Twitter X Spaces, sometimes just over on the channels, I think Pep, he's such a mad scientist. I think he's kind of known exactly what he needs to do to really get this club and get these players up and running, but he's slow playing it. He's not showing all his cards. I think he's holding on to that for next season. It's got one of those vibes because I'm seeing it in spurts, but it's never like the game plan from the jump. Here's what we're doing. And most recently, and I'm forgetting the manager's name, but Crystal Palace said, "Oh, if City do what they did if they bring the same approach or tactics that they did in this game, and they face each other in the FA, he's got an answer for them." I think that's what Pep's doing. Pep's like, listen, I'm not going to give any ops a chance to figure out what I'm going to hit them with next season. Let me get the results here and there. It's not going to be as comfortable. It's not going to be as dominant. I'm not going to show you exactly how I'm going to break you all down, but I think he's got a plan for next season. And we're closing out this season without a Haaland, right? You say Isak's the best striker. Yeah, he's the best striker because Haaland's injured. But when Haaland's back,
so fitness issues is what you're telling me. I hear it. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Haaland's better. I'm joking.
No, I know. And you know what I
Haaland might have to tuck that chain next year. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
we had a better season this season. We had a better season this season. Just saying. And hey, one could be playing Champions League next season and the other's in Europa. Just saying.
Listen, you know what?
Just saying. Don't let that happen, man. Don't let Alexander, You know what I'm saying? Don't let him be the top Scandinavian. Man taking his chain not only in his country, on the continent.
He's
you know what I'm saying?
He
said, give me that.
He's having a good season. He's had the benefit.
He's having a better season than Haaland so far this season. Don't let him have another one. That's all I'm going to say.
We'll see. Isak Alexander is going to actually show that he can play healthy back-to-back seasons because he hasn't been able to show that yet. Also, he's got the benefit of Omar Marmoush, who played in another league, and therefore all those numbers that he was thrown up in over where he was at, don't count. But if you see what Marmoush has done this season in totality, games played, goals, and assists, he's one of the best. Just happened not to have happened in the Prem. So I think we're gonna have a good combination. Whatever we do, this is all that we're playing for. Top 5, top 4, and this FA Cup. That's my season, and I'm cool with it. You ain't gonna catch me talking with any type of arrogance. You ain't gonna catch me like Barnes and Pops greedy. I know this season is one of those where it's like, you know what? This is all that I'm good for right now. I'm good for an FA Cup. I'm good for a top 4, top 5, and we move. Now,
Who do you think wins the other tie in the FA Cup? Palace, Villa.
The fact that Villa are out of champs now, and Villa are still playing. They're chasing this top 4, top 5. I think Palace still win it. I think Palace beat Villa over there. Yeah, I think they get the result over there. Either or, it's going to be a tough game. Yeah, I got to handle business first and foremost. Now, just because I want to be really aware of time, because I'm going to have to go back with the fam.
No, so you got to do what you got to do, man. Family is important. Let me get to a couple things, though, just before you do. Just get to it. Sai says, hey, Sai, big up for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, big up, flawless. Mr. Gaslighter. I will say this. If Liverpool have a good transfer window, we can win back-to-back. And I don't see City winning the title next season. He laid out the gauntlet.
Sai.
Flaw's yours, man. Sai said, hold that veil.
Sai, listen. You know, I'm one of the few that actually back FSG.
Veo one of the best in this space, you know, people. Just to clarify. Your delivery is A1, you know. This guy is second to none, yo. The way you don't stutter, nothing, yo. This guy computing, putting together the gaslighting. I wish Manchester United transitioned as well as you did, man. It's great, man. The way you formulated that already. Man was just ready like he knew Sai was going to ask this shit.
I'm just saying, Sai, listen, I respect it. I respect the question. I'm one of the few that big up FSG because I know how difficult it is for them to do what they do in a winning manner. Because when you hear all of these fans, all of these other rivals at other clubs talk about spend, FSG are like, listen, y'all think the easy fix, y'all think the fix is just to spend. If the fix was just to spend, why aren't Chelsea winning it? If the fix was just to spend, why haven't Arsenal won it? If the fix is just to spend, hey, we know what United have been spending over years. The fix is not to spend.
Why you say fuck me for? Sorry, go on. As you were.
Listen,
Chelsea,
FSG have put together a wrinkle. They put together you got to think about football differently. Not everything is cookie cutter. FSG are showing you it's a different way to win. Now, does it require you to be an expert? Does it require you to do your homework? Does it require you to be brave? And like Flawless likes to say, F the fans. Who cares what they have to say? FSG have stayed tried and true, and they got this Prem, despite what their fan base have been saying. Their fan base have tell them, oh, how are you expected to win the Prem when you don't even buy anyone in the transfer window? And when you have an incoming manager, you don't buy one play. You know what? This manager looked at the tools that the previous manager had and said, oh, I can work with these. What? He's only able to build a treehouse. I'm gonna build a proper house with these tools I got. This is what Slot did with the same tools that a previous manager had, but wasn't able to get it done. So I rate FSG to win back to back. They already did right by keeping players that wanted to be there. The fact that they kept Salah, they kept Van Dijk, two players that want to be there. The fact that they let this Trent Alexander go and flirt and figure out that what he wanted to do, maybe live life and discover himself. The fact that hey, okay, you know what? You don't want to commit here. You go figure it out. The fact that they did that, and like you mentioned, they have a good transfer window. Yeah, I'm gonna give you as favorites to win this Prem. Absolutely. The fact that you won it like this, and now you're gonna invest, you're gonna secure the spine that you have, and you're gonna reinvest with additions. Yeah, you'd be favorites to win. Back to back would be incredible because you haven't been able to win Prem's like that. Flawless likes to mention intent. You guys have a good transfer window. The intent's there. You guys to be favorites would make a lot of sense to me. And next season, I think we're looking at a 4-horse race. Throw in the chain snatchers in that race. Throw in Newcastle. Whether they can go all the way to 38 weeks, whether they can do that while competing in Champions League, while competing in a League Cup, FA Cup, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm gonna give you that. I mean, a good transfer window. You're in the mix for the title.
It's key for everybody in regards to their windows. It's key for everyone. Everyone's windows, I think, is key for what they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't need it. It's key for everyone. Who's it not key for?
Because I don't think Arsenal need to have a big transfer window.
They need to. They do, especially if they don't win the champ. So they fall short again. You don't think they need to go out again? Because they're, when I say key, like they're close. Arsenal are literally a striker.
I think they're one sign.
I think 2 signings. That's key. I think they're 2. I think a striker.
Yeah, but that's not a big transfer window. 2 signings.
No, but big. But I'm saying key. That's why I didn't say big. I said it's key window.
Yeah, but they're also showing they don't need to go out and get a big name.
No. I'm just talking. When I say key, I'm just saying quality.
My position.
You have to go out and get players of quality and get rid of your boy Arteta, and they probably would have won more already. But we moved. You know what I'm saying, oh right, he's not your boy no more. No,
I'm just saying.
Is he your boy?
Flawless. Whoever they had.
Is he your? Well, now you don't want to know him.
No, I'm just
saying.
Man
got in the club and now left Arteta outside. They are terrible. Is he your boy or not?
Now. Regardless of whoever Arsenal had, they were going to lose to this city.
Oh yeah, they was, but that's not what I'm asking. Is Arteta still your boy?
Yeah. For my former assistant manager, I like to see him succeed.
Is Arteta still your boy?
I'm cool with him.
No, I'm cool with him. That's acquaintance thing. That's what I say about someone that I don't really like, but I don't want to cause anything. Is he your boy?
I can't categorize him as my boy for a few reasons, right?
Because okay.
We had an instance, and this is my man's still on the screen. We were fighting over this title. This man Arteta tried to be cheeky and keep the ball away from KDB. KDB had to grab that and push the man down.
So he's not your boy anymore.
Ever since then, we've been listen.
So he's not your boy. That's all I needed to know. He's not your boy. Cool. I'll stop saying it. No, he's not your boy. Cool.
But I do credit him for what he's been able to do.
You credit him for man. Credit him for finishing second here and runners up. I hear that. But yeah. Like, he's not your boy. That's all I wanted to know. I stopped saying it now. I know he was your boy at one. Besides someone saying, "Oh, is Veta your boy?" Be like, "Yeah, that's my G." Gaslighter, yes. City fan, unfortunately, but I'd be like, "Veta, that's my boy." Someone asked me. Go on.
What's your definition of gaslighting? Like, how do you categorize gas? Because some use it as someone that just gasses things up, like overhypes it, props it up.
No, you'll try and see if someone does, not someone, but I'd use it as an example. If a manager does 9 things bad, you'll bring up out of 10, you'll bring up the one good thing he does. That's what it is. So, for instance, you did that earlier, right at the start of the show when we were talking about Maguire.
Yeah.
But and it's like, you try to, but obviously I'm smart enough.
No. See, this is where you're unfair, though.
Why am I unfair?
Because when we do these shows weekly, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If we talk about a game, I want to talk about the 90 minutes or the 90 plus minutes.
Yeah.
You often want to do the but 2 years ago or last season.
2 years ago. Okay, so this is where you're now gaslighting with this. He made a mistake in yesterday's game.
Yeah. Okay, but you also brought up old stuff, but a mistake in one game. Come on. We played. One mistake doesn't define, you know what I mean? You can have a mistake and you move on.
Multiple mistakes, but the reason why the conversation grows further is because it's like, oh, why are you critical? Because this is a common occurrence. I literally said in the same sentence, if a player performs consistently well and then makes the odd mistake, I'm much less critical of that. So, for instance, our next game, if Maserati makes a mistake, I'm going to be less critical. Because he's consistently been good this season. I understand you're not going to be.
Now I'm going to have to report card good and bad.
Do it. We do it because I'm not. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not unfair with my critique, or I'm not unfair with my praise. I call it as I see it. I mentioned because you was the one who said say that's gaslighting.
So you're name did you say?
Say that again.
You're sofa scoring.
I don't SofaScore. I just take information on board. So when I have these conversations, I'm knowledgeable enough to know what I'm talking about.
All
I
right,
know I can form an opinion.
so let me
Because you
ask you
was the
this.
one who focused in on Maguire because you was like, who? Like, I'm not gonna praise him when he does good things. When Maguire
Okay,
plays
that's
well, I'll
fair.
say
That's
like when Maguire plays well, or a player I don't rate plays well, I'll
yeah.
say they played well in such and such a game.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna go overboard with the whole they've turned it around.
No, yeah, neither will I. Neither will I.
Apologize. No, not you, but others do that. But you,
All right.
Gasser, you don't turn the dial up that far because you was the one who said who made the good play, who scored the goal. Why did you?
I
ask
just
me
didn't hear. I
about
didn't hear who you
Yeah,
said.
there was only
That's why I
there was
said
only
who.
one. There was only one header scored.
But I just said who. I didn't hear.
There was only one header scored by us that season in this game. See, gaslighting.
Okay,
Exactly.
all right. Now let me also ask this, because I don't do this. I'm not. I don't really go into like the silver score and stuff. But
yeah, I don't do SofaScore. I don't even know what they base it off. By the way.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. But I guess the chat can let me know what's an average score. What's considered a bad score? Like I would assume like if anything less than 5 is you've done more bad than good.
Oh, you're talking about like on a scale thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, 5 is average because it's right in the middle. 4 below average, 6 above average.
I gotta look. I'm gonna look up what the sofa scores and all that kind of stuff because when they do the player ratings, like if
I don't know what they based that sofa score is nonsense because I've seen players have great games and they're low. I've seen players have terrible games and be high. They base it like it's FIFA. It seems like they base it like it's FIFA, where if you score a goal, you're going to be automatically.
Yeah, the goal ignores all of. I hear it.
Yeah,
now,
the goal like bypasses it. Like as a defensive player who plays FIFA, I know this because the times I've had great games and I've had a 6. There's times I've played terrible games and been an 8.
You know what? I want to switch this up because we still got LFC on the screen right there. What do you think of FSG and what they've done with Salah and Van Dijk?
Oh, signing them up was the obvious thing to do and the smart thing to do.
Do you think the way they went about it
was absolutely horrendous? I think it was horrendous. I think it's terrible business, and I think it could have impacted future business. Because if I'm looking to go to Liverpool, wait, are Salah and Van Dijk going to be there? That's the first.
Yeah, but no business happens until after the season anyway.
No business, but you're talking to people. If you're smart, you're in negotiate. If you're smart, you're in negotiations right now.
Yeah.
Like all clubs should be. So that could have impacted. There could be a player you missed out on because of this.
Nah.
Or a player might just look at it. Yeah, of course it could have. Nah. Of course you could have. Definitely. Maybe not you, but I can only talk for me. If I am a player, I'm looking at that situation going, why are you here? This could happen while I'm here. That could derail my career. There's no way 2 players who have been at the level they've been at, performing at the level, helped you win what you win. And you.
Why is that a problem though? Why is how FSG played this out? Why would that have been a problem if you were the player? Because you'd have all the power.
No, you're missing my point. From a Van Dijk and Salah standpoint, yes, I'm saying if they approach me to sign for the football club.
Yeah, so why is that a problem? Because you're not signing with them until after the season's over.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be there or not. It's all up in the air as we're having the discussions. Now I know because players will look at what players are there. If you're going to Liverpool, that's top of your list. You're trying to win major honors. Okay, Trent's left. Van Dijk and Salah could leave. Why am I going? I don't want to rebuild.
Right. So that only takes effect if you were going to make a decision before.
Yeah, I'm saying right now it could have. You said, what do I think about? I'm saying it could during this period, and also I think
FSG has been brilliant. I think they've been brilliant.
Of course you do. I think it's an awful saga. What do you mean? You're the only non-Liverpool fan who thinks that.
You got to think of the psychology, though. You don't think this motivated these players to have brilliant seasons?
No, I don't think it did. No, because Salah and Van Dijk are Salah and Van Dijk.
We've never seen Salah play like this.
He's never been relied upon like.
No, he's never delivered like this. What do you think?
He still delivered to a high level because he has to, because there's no one else in their attack, because the rest of their attack is shocking.
This is the same attack they had last season, Flawless.
Yes, and he performed to a high level too, as well.
But this is what I'm saying. All things being equal, same talent last season because they had no signings. No, let me break this out. No signings last season, right? No signings last season. Sorry, no signings this season. So the same players he played with last season, he had this season. He also had he also had the opportunity to do all that he could have done and more but he had the numbers that he had last season. He's taking it to another level this season. What's the
I don't
difference?
think it's anything to do with. I think it's just Salah being Salah.
Oh, see, no.
Yeah,
Man.
I think
Salah's
it's just
been
being
Salah all the previous years.
Yeah, that's my point, and he's performed to a high level. You just want to give this is you gaslighting, wanting to give
This ain't
credit.
gaslighting. What's the?
This is a terrible situation.
There's a difference.
No serious club does this. It's only in your mind that any
wins a prem. No serious club wins a prem in 2 and 5 years.
No, you can win 2 in 5 years.
That's a serious club.
No serious club is in this instance who has 3 of their better players, including their captain, their vice captain, talisman, and one of the best right backs in Europe, or one of the best players in Europe, down to 12 months of their contract. This is why they won't dominate. Because you like to say, yeah, they ain't gonna win back-to-back leagues. You don't think they're gonna win back-to-back leagues. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
But the reason isn't because of investment. The reason is because there's a Manchester City in competition. That's why.
Okay, so if you're not at it, who wins the league next season?
If I'm not at it, Liverpool win the league again.
Okay. So you have him over your Arsenal. Your former boy Arteta don't get the job done.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Arteta's not.
All right, should they? Oh yeah, we've already established if he doesn't win anything this season and he doesn't win anything next season, he should be sacked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Arteta's gonna have to get reinforcements because every club you have to reinvest, regardless if the same manager or not. You have to replenish. So there's gonna be money spent over there.
This is the gaslighting we talk about. He's the only non-Liverpool fan who rates FSG. There's a reason for that.
FSG just secured Salah, who's about to break a Prem record. They just secured Van Dijk, and you guys want to dismiss it like?
No, it's not dismissing it. We're talking about them as owners overall. Like I said, I think they've hindered Liverpool more than they've.
That's not true. They could not have hindered. They brought Liverpool back to existence.
No. I said again, here's where you get it wrong. When I say hindered, doesn't mean they had success. I think with better owners, with more intent, they have more success.
No.
Same way with us in our era.
Are there better owners? Are there better owners over at Chelsea?
Yeah. The intent's right.
Where's Chelsea's success?
The intent's right. Actually, no, I can't say no, their intent's better. I can't say they're better owners, their intent's better though. But they might just be poor. But run me that though. Their intent is to be the best. They're just going the wrong way about it. But you don't spend $1 billion in 2 years.
This is you talking about the wrong way about it. Look,
they are. So wait, do you wait, hold up. You don't rate the Chelsea owners, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, and I don't, so we're in agreement. I don't rate the Chelsea owners either.
Okay.
So when I say they've gone the wrong way about it, you're in agreement with me because none of us rate Chelsea owners.
But I rate FSG.
What I'm saying is about Chelsea is the intent from their owners is correct. They've just gone the wrong way about it. But I can see what you've tried to do. You've just gone about it awful. But your heart and your head is actually in the right place. It's not a money-making thing. Like I said, with FSG, with the Glazers, both of those two football clubs should have won more in them periods and didn't. And I think that's large in part to their ownerships. Liverpool should have won more. We, as successful as we was from 2005 to 2013, had success, should have won more. And if we had owners who wanted us to win us more, put it this way, if we had Roman Abramovich, we win more in that era. If Liverpool have Roman Abramovich, they win more. Why not? No.
So if you have Roman Abramovich, you don't have Sir Alex.
We would still have Sir Alex.
Your first down year with Sir Alex, he's gone.
I think he does things differently at Manchester.
Oh, see, that's convenient. Why?
Because
he's been ruthless.
He has been ruthless because of the things that are around. I think Abramovich understands with Gil and with Fergie what he has there.
Too much mental gymnastics.
No, it's not too much mental gymnastics. You just don't like the fact that I have a rebuttal to it. You have the most successful. You have a god tier manager.
You're picking out the best of every.
No, it's not picking out the best. What's wrong is he not a god tier manager, and then don't we have a god tier director of football? I think Abramovich is smart enough to go. Yeah, they can turn this around. I think he's smart enough. What are we talking about here?
This is my point when you
say let's remove Abramovich. Owners with better intent. Like I said, no, it's everything you back. Don't win anything back to back. Why is that? No, it's that.
Because you have
Everything you praise and every ownership that you back wins nothing back to back and has no dynasties. Why is that?
because
Oh,
back
yeah,
to back
wait.
ain't easy, and back
Where
to
it's
back
not.
ain't easy when you have
But
the
back
greatest
the
manager in the world going up
who
against.
but the thing is, everyone who wins back to back has what? Something God tier-esque.
What?
I said
Flawless.
every team that wins back to back has something God tier-esque.
So are you trying to tell me?
Fergie,
that
only Fergie does what he does under that ownership, because you see what it looks like when he wasn't there without Gil. We
so
had
you're
two. That's how bad our ownership was. We had two. We had
So-
two God tier figures. That's how much it took for us to win things.
so when Arsenal had Arsene Wenger and they
Yeah.
were going on their run, failing to win back to back,
Mhm.
there's no way you're saying they didn't show intent.
They did.
They did show intent,
They
and
did
were
show.
still incapable of winning back to back.
Yes, but they fell short. They fell short severely just because of a lack of quality. It was no lack of intent. With FSG, it's a lack of quality. Look at their windows. What are we talking about here? Show me an Arsenal window during Wenger's pomp that was as poor as that one. Poor as there too. The one after they won the Champions League, and there was one where there was another one where I think it was Kabak and someone. They had two windows that were dreadful.
Flawless. When you lose the league by 1 point,
yeah,
that's not because you don't have lack of quality.
It is a lack of quality. Because if you would have backed him
Flawless, what are
properly,
we
you get
doing
over
here?
that point. What do you mean? What are we doing? It's a lack of quality. How come everybody by you had you lot winning the league?
No, I always back my club, always.
No, yeah.
But
So
to lose,
right,
to lose by 1 point is not.
and that's what it is. It's fine margins because of their lack of quality. This is
But
what you don't
but
understand.
this is
If
no,
you
but
add
this
to-
whole
if you-
this
if
whole
you-
okay, hold on.
It's a lack of quality. If
Okay.
you lose the league by 1 point,
Alright.
guess what? If you would have had invested better and had a better one singular player
Everyone
in a better
yeah,
situation,
there's
you win.
always a better. There's always a better
Yeah,
when you
there's
look
always a
back
better.
on falling short. But this
No,
is
it's not a
what
question. Why did we all know they was gonna fall short in the first place?
who was gonna fall short?
Liverpool.
We didn't all know this. They lost by 1 point.
Okay, you didn't. I knew they was gonna fall short. So how did I know it?
Flawless, they lost by 1 point.
How did I know they was gonna fall short?
Because you saw City as being better than them.
Because of their lack of investment.
So okay, let me ask you this.
Better than them,
Let me
but
ask
they
you
ain't
this.
serious. What are we talking about?
There's no way for us to remember this. There's no way for us to
What are
remember
we
this.
doing?
I'm just going to say this before I go. There's no way for us to remember this. And this is fitting for us to have this type of back and forth on Easter Friday like we were cousins. But I'm going to say this. If you look at the preseason going into, right? So the year they won champs, if you and Pops, Barnes, all you guys, we could talk about this on another time. But you look at after they won champs, what they invested to go in to win the Prem the next season. If you guys were at the time saying, oh, they did the right business, oh, they got the right players, we're going on to win the Prem, cool. After winning the Prem, if you were then saying, I don't know what you would have said before going in to defend that Prem. If you said you needed a signing in attack, or you said you needed a signing in defense, whatever. I don't want, because we can't prove this. I don't want what was said going into the season to change now that you're in the season and said, "Oh, we should have done this," and that often happens to be the conversation. Oh, they fell short because now an injury happened at center back, but before the start of the season, they weren't saying center back. They were maybe saying an attack or midfield.
The smart ones were, because they could realize that is a problem area.
But every season every fan base every season is gonna say, "Oh, I want to improve my defense. I want to improve my midfield. I want to improve my striking." But we don't do it. But you can't do that.
You can't.
Even my club that shows intent, and we've had this conversation many times. My club that shows intent, that splashed the cash and everything like that. We've gone into seasons not strengthening, but have still won it.
Yeah, sure. So that means you had enough.
No. Oh my gosh.
It means you had enough, because you were still better than everyone. There wasn't a season you won the league and you weren't favorites for it.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
So you had enough. Everyone's playing catch up.
But the favorites.
Now, where you fell short in the Champions League, you could argue that.
But the favorites are still margins, because in a season where Liverpool were competing or on pace for a quad, we can't say that when they fall short.
No, we know why. We know why they fell short.
They fell short going for 4 trophies. If they had focused on the one trophy,
and we know why they fell short. because they should have had a squad that was built for 4, but they didn't. That's why
no
they were
one
never.
should have a squad to compete for 4 trophies. Flawless.
You have a squad to you have a squad. Don't do that. You have a squad to compete for 4. When did you win your treble?
I won my treble 2 seasons ago.
Okay,
and I didn't win the League Cup.
Okay, no, but that squad was capable of winning a quad. If you win a quad that season, would anyone have been surprised? No.
Yes.
When you won the treble, no, they wouldn't have been.
They were surprised that we won we weren't looking good on our way to winning the treble.
You was odds on. I've been saying this, and you can go back because we had this discussion. You tried to gaslight it. Then you were odds on for a treble. You were favorites for a treble in January. No. We ain't gonna bypass that. You were favorites for a treble. There's a reason for that. Because of your squad. Why would Liverpool never favorites for a quad or a treble?
That was a World Cup season as well, Flawless.
Yeah, World Cup season or not. Answer me the question. Why were Liverpool not favorites for a treble and you lot were?
Liverpool had not won the Prem the previous season.
Okay, the season before that, why were you favorites for a treble and a double and all of these things? Why are you odds on for everything during the last 3-4 years?
Because of manager, and because again,
of what else?
Yeah,
because of don't stop there, and because of what else?
And because of the team, because of the club.
Okay. But wait. Because of the what? Sorry, say that again. Because of the what?
Because of the players, because of the club.
Oh, because of the who? The players.
Yes,
okay.
The players. But as the season, Flawless. Here's the thing.
Okay, so he just said that because of the players is why it played a part into why you were favorites. So maybe get better players.
Flawless. When you get
favorites for a 4P Pops, make it make sense. Pops. They were favorite. You won the league, which you were favorites for. You were favorites for the repeat. You were favorites for the 3P. You were favorites for the 4P. Favorites for the 5P. You were favorites this year, so you were favorites. So 5 years in a row. Why were you favorites for the league? Because it deemed you had the best squad, even though that's not turned out this season and got it wrong.
And how do we explain it? How do we explain this season?
Because of bad investment. That's why. Well, your intent was there. How
much
did you spend in January?
Okay, hold on. Let me hear it. Okay, one second. Because you're saying bad investment, right?
Yeah, bad investment.
You're gonna tell me bad investment. Now, is that just bad investment from this summer or the summer before when I was also favorites the summer before? Right?
Who did you sign? I'll have to go back and check your windows before.
So this past summer, I brought in Savino and Gundogan.
Yeah. Okay.
The season before. And I lost Julian Alvarez. Okay.
I got you. That's a big one.
The season before that, I brought in Doku. Mm-hmm. I lost Gundogan.
Yeah.
So I lost Gundogan, and I'm still favorites to win that season. I bring Gundogan in, and I'm still favorites to win that season. And who else did I sign?
Someone else.
Sorry, Mateus Nunes and Kovacic.
Yeah. So that's the thing is, even though you lot have perceived the players have fallen, you were so far ahead. What do you mean? Oh man, was you not favorites? You were far ahead.
I get that we're favorites.
So the fact that you had a fall off because you were so far ahead, people still expected you to win the league.
Yeah, so I get
because you know what it is. The 2 seasons Arsenal, you did win it against Arsenal.
Yeah,
they ain't the best City sides.
No.
They're levels off, but you know what they are? Still better than the rest. Hence why you won the leagues.
So when
gassing up Arsenal.
The season I won the treble, I get it. I bring in a Haaland, a Julian Alvarez, and Ortega, and an Akanji. I get why going into that season, everyone's looking at City strengthened. Mind you, what we added, we lost Jesus, we lost Sterling, we lost Zinchenko, but they're going to be like, okay, that whatever, that doesn't matter. What came in and what get out, we're still favorites. I get that. We won the treble. If you're telling me I should have won or I was favorites to win the quad, sure.
You was odds on for a quad.
Yeah, but the odds on is obviously if one team is good enough to win the Prem, by default, are they not favorites to win all the other competitions that they're in? Because it's the English Premier League. It's the English FA. So that's a simple thing to say, oh yeah, they're favorites. But when the season plays out, if you had a Liverpool that were close second or an Arsenal that were close second, if they prioritized any of the cup runs where we are prioritizing trying to win all 4, the mathematics.
The fact that you have to prioritize is crazy. The only 2 you should really prioritize, if you're a big club and you've been there for ages, if you favor the Champions League and Premier League and rest in the FA Cup and League Cup. I hear that.
Flawless. This is why we ruined Liverpool's quad chase, because when we were still in champs dealing with Real Madrid, Pep prioritized Champions League and the Prem, whereas Klopp he played a stronger side in the FA Cup when we faced them.
Yeah, because he knew that
they won the FA.
Because he knew his side was short, so I can't throw competitions. I'm second favorite. I can't afford to throw comps.
You can throw the FA if you.
You can't throw the FA.
Flawless. They lost on the final day. Yes, they could have thrown away the FA. They lost on the final day in the Prem, and they lost. They lost by one goal in the champs.
And they lost. Yes, lost. Took L's. Lost. Runners up. They lost because they weren't good enough.
Flawless, why are you ignoring?
I'm not ignoring anything.
You are.
They lost.
Because we want to do the what ifs, but they lost.
It's not no what if. They lost. That's facts.
No,
what if.
No, it is the what if because you say had they strengthened. That's a what if. Because there's managing the strengthen. No, hold on. There's managing the strengthen of these players. There's managing the integration of these players, and there's whether they deliver or not. You want to criticize my signings, and my signings have been poor. Yet my signings have been poor, and I'm still favorites to win. And you're saying, oh, that's because I was so far ahead. But I'm so far ahead, winning by 1 point or winning by 2 points, yet I have a weak transfer window and I'm still far ahead. What I want to point out with regards to Liverpool is they prioritize the FA. I'm trying to say when we're doing had they strengthened, they would have been better off. Well, you don't strengthen. Had they not committed those players to an FA Cup semifinal and had those players available to close out the season in the Prem or Champs, that's where I'm saying, oh, you didn't strengthen, then prioritize. You're telling me, oh, you can't drop any one of them. I'm trying to say, I saw my manager focus on the champion of the Prem, and it paid out with regards to the Prem. Your manager focused. Sorry?
He has the squad too.
We didn't have the squad too because we lost to Real Madrid because we had bodies drop in. Fernandinho playing defense and got cooked by Vinny. Walker wasn't able to play because his hamstrings were done. My manager.
Here it is. That's a crazy take. Been off the FA Cup to gamble on winning something else. Why couldn't we win it all like City? Why couldn't they win it all like you?
Because
why
they didn't have the squad. Because you said so.
Exactly.
They didn't have the squad.
This is so invest in the squad to give yourself the best opportunity.
Okay. But when you haven't invested in the squad, then you can't go after all 4 trophies. Therefore, had they
why have you not invested in the squad?
The transfer window already passed. They didn't.
No. Let's go back. Why have you not invested in the squad? Why, as owners of Liverpool Football Club, have you not invested in the squad? Bear in mind, you have an exceptional team with a manager. Just answer me that. Why have you had a transfer window and not invested in the squad, knowing you're this close? Why have you not invested, knowing you could win a league, Champions League, a double, a treble, a quad? Why have you not?
For the same reasons.
What have you not invested? You've never not done that. You've never not invested. That's never happened.
I spent $100 million and brought in Jack Grealish. Yeah. Okay. I spent $100 million in transfer window.
That's not investing, though. That's not investing. That's not
it's investing on paper, but when you look at the squad and you look at what you need, you only bring in Jack Grealish. And then when we look at it more, and then I hear all my rivals talk about what Jack Grealish means to the club and what he's done. So what are we doing here?
What do you mean? That's still an investment. You don't spend $100 million. It's an investment.
Yes. Okay, so flawless.
What are we talking about? Go on.
Okay, so if Liverpool spent $100 million on a Jack Grealish, they've invested, but it was,
that's investment. But you're building. You're not catching anybody. That's what you don't understand. When you're second or third and trying to catch first, you need to do more. Same way when
FSG just showed you that you don't need to do more because you just need to do it better.
FSG just got lucky that you.
No, we're not doing the luck thing. Now that's when I got a luck.
Okay, that's it.
We're not gonna do a luck thing.
Okay, no, not luck. Fortunate that you lot fell.
There's no fortunate. FSG looked at the team that Klopp had and said that this team is good enough to win the Prem.
But they didn't think that. You didn't think that. None of us thought.
It has nothing to do with. You tell me all the time. F what the fans think. FSG looked at the squad, FSG looked at their players, and saw that what Klopp had last season was good enough to win. I believe. I didn't do my homework. At whatever week this is, week 31, week 32, I believe Liverpool were top of the league. I believe week 31, week 32,
that's all
they were top of the league. Now,
that's all well
So they were good enough to win it. The manager
okay, so they were
didn't
good
get
enough
it
to
done.
win one. Why won't they win it again?
No, because it's not winning one. Because guess what? They're back at winning it again.
Why? No. Winning
They could
one
have
in
won it
regards
last
to
season.
back-to-back.
Better
Why don't they
management.
build a
They
dynasty?
did.
Why don't they have a dynasty? Why can't they win back-to-back? Why can't they dominate?
The same reason Arsenal weren't able to do it. Because sometimes a better
Arsenal don't
club's
win
in
anything.
front of you.
No, Arsenal don't win anything, so don't do that.
No. Arsenal with Wenger weren't able to win back to
Why do you think
back.
FSG
But were they good enough to
and
create a dynasty? Should they have had a dynasty with that quality? Yes. But you had Arsenal under Wenger.
Yeah, and if people say, and what do people say about Arsenal? They fell short, but it wasn't a lack of investment. That's what you're missing. Even though they both fell short, the reasoning is different. Again, that's the reason, and that's what you don't understand. The ownership wasn't the reason Arsenal fell short. That was just sheer quality.
No,
it wasn't our own. No. It was no. We're gonna stick on that. The ownership was not the reason Arsenal fell short to Manchester United in Wenger's heyday. They did everything in their power. We was just better because that is some of the greatest. No, why is that too simple? How is that wrong? What more could they have done in that instance? They did everything in their power. They created they had some of the best Premier League players.
Because you're giving a blight to a manager.
I'm not giving a blight. I'm just saying we was better. But they was at their maximum. I think Wenger performed at his maximum. It's just that his maximum was not better than Fergie's maximum.
Yeah.
Their players, let me land. Their players performed at their maximum. It's just that their maximum wasn't better than our maximum. Our ownership, and investment was at a maximum. Their ownership and investment was at a maximum. We was all maxed out. We were just better. People are much more accepting if we're maxed out and they're better. FSG have not maxed out. I don't know what you don't understand about that. It's clear as day. FSG have not maxed out. That's why they have them windows. Because City or Manchester United or Arsenal have never had windows. Let me pluralize that as poor as what Liverpool have had under FSG. That tells you all you need to know. That's why they've won what they've won and should have won more. Could have actually. Let me just clarify that. Could have won more. I don't think that's what the thing is. They are not maxed out. Arsenal maxed out. We were just better. That's all it is.
If you're going to do,
why are Arsenal fans on the owner's case right now? Because they're not maxed out.
Flawless. Every fan base cries for more money. Every fan base.
When you're not winning, yeah. When you're not,
even when they're winning. When they're winning, they're calling for more. Because, like you said, we won. Let's spend again because we need to create a dynasty. We need to do back to back. Sometimes spending.
It's not always works, but that's how it works. No one has ever built a dynasty off of standing still. You need to constantly invest. What are we talking about here? We did it. We had a season where we only signed Robin van Persie, one player like you mentioned.
Right.
Quality signing. He was the only signing we made. Was not a good squad. I think we lost the season before. Yes, we lost.
Yeah, you did lose the season before. You lost the season.
You lost the season before to you.
Now,
you
had you so Flawless. Let me ask you this.
Robin van Persie was a signing of it. We signed Van Persie. I went, oh shit. Yeah. That's a fantastic signing.
Okay, so 100%. We're gonna do result based analysis. So had you fallen short that season,
yeah,
you're crashing it on the owners. We didn't invest enough, or did the manager happen to have a season where he didn't get it done?
It's variables. I could look at certain results and go, could the manager? If we wouldn't have won, I could have looked at the manager. Okay, so I'll answer it. I could have looked at the manager in certain instances and gone, you should have done better here. What's the injuries? What's the squad like? That squad was short. The squad was short. But you know what we had? Our manager at max is God level. That's why. We had our top quality striker in Robin van Persie. We had some quality players in that side. However, if we actually had real ownership, you know what?
Oh my goodness.
Wait, let me land. You don't even know what I'm going to say. We do. I'm not saying we win it, but we give ourselves a much better opportunity of winning the Champions League that season. Our lack of quality cost us in that. Who won it that year? Who won the champs in 2013?
I don't want to go sidetrack with Champions League. With regards to the
chat, I want to know. No, I'm asking the chat because I think we didn't. Who did we go out to that year? Did we go out to Madrid? Hey, chat, let me know who we went out to. I can't remember.
When it comes down to
back people with no dynasty on it. You got all fans want more money, yes, because you have to invest. If you don't spend, you are going to stand still. And if you stand still, eventually somebody is going to catch you.
And you know what's funny though? When you look at a club that's going to have to re-up some of these players.
Wait, what? It was Chelsea. Was it that Chelsea side under Di Matteo? Fuck. Fuck. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Who did you lot play in the semi-final? Prime. And who did Bayern play? Yeah, these lot been fucking us for the longest. Hey, yo.
But you got no problems with Chelsea. You got no problems with them. You're cool with them.
Outrageous. No, not Chelsea. I am cool with Chelsea. I'm talking about my ownership. No, won it in 2012. Who won it in 2013? Oh, Bayern beat Dortmund. So it was Bayern Dortmund. Who was the other two? Who was the semi-finalist in 2013? If anyone remembers.
I can't.
The chat will know. I won't ask you. I know I won't ask you. But the point I'm making is, yes, we should have a squad that's capable to match Dortmund. And guess what? If we would have invested properly, guess what?
It's so lazy.
Could have. No, it's not lazy. It's factual.
I'm always going to hear.
You happy with one at the buffet and that? Like, so it was Barca, Bayern, and Dortmund, Madrid. Oh yeah, shit. Was that Lewandowski Dortmund when they packed up Madrid with Mourinho? Fuck. But the point I'm making is, yeah, you can back these things. You win this one of everything and that, and 2 in 5 years, and 1 in 6 years, and 3 in 8 years, and all this nonsense. That's you. So I ain't got no statues outside you lot stadium, but we move. Go on, as you were.
You telling me I got no statues?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got no statues. Is it not just Aguero?
I got company. I got Silva. You need to relax.
Are they where are them statues?
No, I got Summerby. I got statues.
Where are them statues?
And I'm gonna have a KDB statue out front just now.
Did them have statues? I've never seen them, and I've been to that. He had on a few occasions.
They're gonna be built.
They're going to be. Oh right, yeah, they're going to be built. And you know why they're going to be built? You know what them players did that your club's never done? Dynasty.
Wait, my club hasn't done a dynasty?
When before that, them players you just mentioned outside of Summerby, what dynasty have you had?
Yeah, but this is the point. Sometimes you're not going to necessarily put a statue of a player because of dynasty. You're going to put a statue of a player that was tremendous for the club, that brought you trophies, that brought you winning. But I don't want
to. That's your lot.
No, I know. I know you.
So
you have a different reality over there at Manchester.
I'm glad you know. Well, go on.
So when it comes down to what this fan base expectation, because the club is re-upping Salah and Van Dijk. That's money that's got to come from somewhere. Now the average fan,
you know where that money came from. The money they didn't give to Trent. That's where that money came from.
Oh,
is it correct? So me, you, and Pops in the chat all work for a company, and we all re-upping. We're the top three salesmen in the country. I mean, in the company, me, you, Beijing Pops, we all up for renewal come the summer of 2025.
Yeah,
we're all looking at it and working. I know what I'm doing. Pops looks like he's gonna leave more than likely. Me and you really want to stay. Pops looks like he's gonna leave. We know Pops. They're gonna offer Pops, me and you, big bumper new deals. Pops leaves. You think I'm not asking for Pops? Pops is. You think I'm not coming to you and saying, "Hey, Vale, Pops is gone." You see that 200, 300K? Hey, you asked for this, I asked for this because this money's there. That's where the money came from. What are we talking about?
No.
So they didn't offer. All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not offer Trent a contract?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but they didn't chop up Trent's contract and then gave that money to Salah and Van Dijk. They didn't
give it to them. What I'm saying is the money that they offered to him is, and because Trent didn't take the deal, is now there. So let's say Trent wanted.
They always had. No, they always had money for Trent. They always had money for Van Dijk, and they always had money.
Now they have more money. But now they have. I know they did, but now they have more money.
I'm trying to understand. What do you mean more money? Salah and Van Dijk are not getting more money.
No, now they have. Now they have more money to offer Van Dijk and Salah because one of their top earners just worked out the door potentially. Yes. How can you argue with just basic maths?
No, because from a planning standpoint. And this is where I give credit to FSG.
You know how much that man run reportedly?
400 or something.
Okay. You think they get that without Trent? Bear in mind they don't want to break their wage structure.
No, they've already broken the weight structure. That whole FSG or Liverpool fans talking about, oh, they don't spend. That's all a myth.
How about the
FSG
money
been
came from it?
spending.
Maybe the Prem came winning the Prem, but back to it anyway. You the only non-Liverpool fan who rates FSG. There's a reason for that.
Listen, because you know what?
So this all came from asking about gaslighting. That's what this conversation's been. But it's been great for conversation.
You don't.
Like I said, finally,
you don't appreciate what you have at the time. Liverpool fans need to look at what's happening over there at Chelsea. Look what happens over there at United. Look what's happening over there. You keep saying City over there are cheating. So look what's happening over there. Look what's happening over at Spurs. Look what's happening everywhere else.
Why are they looking at Spurs, Manchester United, Chelsea? Why are they looking at us? What's that got to do with
Because those that spend more.
It's not about spending more. I keep telling you this, and you keep running with this. Stop. It's disingenuous.
So how do we judge intent? Because their scouting is amazing. Their decision making is amazing. How do we judge this intent that you're talking about then?
It's not about spending more. It's about spending wisely. It's about investment in the right places. So if they came in and if they brought, it's about
who's a wiser spender than them?
No, wiser. When I say wiser spending, I'm talking about you just trying to use it talking cheap. I'm talking about we need a centre back. Go and get a centre back, or who at least has potential. Don't bring me Virgil van Kabak.
What? So wait.
Don't bring me Kabak.
Okay.
Don't bring me Kabak. That's what I'm saying.
So they need to be
Virgil van Kabak. Someone was running.
Flawless. If everyone, and that's why I said, look at all the neighbors. If all your neighbors have mess ups with regards to signings, why would that not fall to FSG at times? Why are they expected to be perfect with their signings? I messed up.
Yes, we are. They're not expected to be perfect. You're expected to make better decisions.
Okay. Yes, which they have been doing.
Better.
They haven't. Nah. Oh my gosh.
No, they haven't.
There's too much complaining of every decision being made, and there's
no. It's not. As it transitioned into great results over a long period of time. No, it has not.
Okay, who has?
City
have been making.
It's worked out for you. So yes, bring me what City have. City can do it. I can do it. Now what?
No.
Exactly. What are we talking about?
No, it's no what because it's. Flawless.
What we talking about? You said who has it worked for? Manchester City it's worked for.
So but we know why it's worked for because we have what you had. We have a great manager. That's the difference maker.
Man, so you don't think Klopp's a great manager?
He's not as great as Pep. He fell short by 1 point twice.
Okay. Cool. So you think it's all on Pep why you are successful?
No, see, now you're doing the work.
So what else is it? I'm asking you. Okay, so what else is it?
But it's the difference.
What else is it? So what else is it?
No, it's not all on Pep. In terms of
what else is it?
How come the 1 point difference is Pep?
How come you're able to dominate and no one else is? What is it different about you, look?
Pep.
Just Pep is the only reason you dominate.
The reason why we've dominated is because of Pep. Yeah. Because again, 1 point. One point doesn't have to. No, hold on. Let me finish this. 1 point is the reason why it's been dominance.
Cool. That's all well and good.
We beat Liverpool to a Prem by 1 point twice.
Cool. So Pep's the only reason you've been dominant in the country. So it's nothing to do with your ownership, nothing to do with your board, nothing to do with
because before Pep, we won Prems, but we weren't dominant. You know this.
So,
Mancini, we won. We weren't dominant. Pellegrini, we won. We weren't dominant. Who comes in? Pep. And it's a madness. We win back-to-back. We win 3 in a row, then 4 in a row.
Did you not? Was your investment not better? Because those teams weren't as
not
good
to
as
dominate, though. Our investment was mad. No, our investment's been mad. We've been investing, but we weren't dominant.
Investment was better. When the teams Pellegrini and Mancini had were not as good as the teams that Pep had.
A team that had Aguero, David Silva,
overall,
Yaya
11 squad.
Forget
all of that. Get all of that.
11
for 11 squad for squad, not individual names. Did the squads that did Pellegrini or Mancini have a better 11 or squad than Pep outside of this season and the last one? And do you have the best, and as because that's a tough question, do you have the best owners in the league, in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm biased. Yeah.
I'll take the bias out of it. You have the best owners in the league. Do you have the best? Do you have the best infrastructure in the league?
If you and others understand City not to be cheats, yes. If any of you are under your breath saying we're cheaters,
so you have So you have I don't know if you lot are cheaters or not, because it's not come to fruition what's going on. So you have the best owners and the best infrastructure in the league, in your opinion.
Yeah.
In which I agree with. So that also led to the smart decision of bringing in Pep's people to go and get Pep. Correct?
Right. Correct. Yeah.
So that ties into then being a dominant side, because you were smart enough to not only go and get Pep, to bring his people in and add a great infrastructure in. So that's smart on the ownership's part, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So why would how come no one else has even attempted to do that? Not go and get Pep, but no one's attempted to go and get the best of the best. You mentioned great. You need a great manager.
No, that's not true.
You said you need a great manager to have a dynasty, correct?
Yes. We have a generational manager, Flawless, like you had in Sir Alex Ferguson. That's been the difference maker with regards to why you had what you had versus a Jose versus an Arsene Wenger, and that's also the difference.
We also had a god tier guy in David Gill as well. Let's not forget that he's a difference maker.
Yeah.
Without him, without him, we don't have the dominance.
Okay, that's great. I'm not going to overhear boost Tiki. Yeah. I'm not going to overhear and boost.
No, it's not boost, but they've done an exceptional
No, of course they've done their jobs, but I don't know. That's great. But when you say go out, I believe FSG have gone out and gotten the best, whether it's Edwards or whoever that were important to build this squad that gave them a champs, then a prem, and then falling short to a City by 1 point. I think those are all key people that FSG did, whether they get credit for showing intent or being ambitious or looking to be dominant.
No, they didn't, because we just look at trophies and being dominant. Do you want to be dominant? No. Why are Liverpool never going to have a dynasty under them? Even after Pep leaves, why are they never going to have a dynasty after them?
Flawless.
No. Answer me the question. Why
I can't answer that because I want to. Okay, no, I'll answer that with one thing though. Let me understand. Yeah. If they were to win the Prem next season, is that dominant?
Yeah, because you won back to back.
Okay. If they lose next season and then win the following season, is that dominant?
No, but it's better. That's better.
So dominance is when you win back to back.
Yeah, building a dynasty. It's 3 and 4 years.
Okay.
It's 4 and 5 years.
And how many times does that happen in the Prem? Which realistically, other than back in the 70s,
three teams have done it. You did it. Chelsea did it. We did it.
Wait, Chelsea had a dominant. Oh, they won back to back, but they did.
They won back to back.
But
that's a dominant period.
Okay, back to back is dominant. What's 3 in a row? Because you guys have done that. We've done that.
Yeah, we've done it. That's even more dominance. That goes more into the dynasty thing.
All right. Any club that wins back to back, that's showing dominance.
I would say that's dominant. Is that not dominant to you? If you win back to back, you always talk about how hard it is to win back to back. I think that's dominance. If you start winning 3 in a row in 3 and 4 years and 4 and 6 years, that's a dynasty.
Okay. So
once you start dominating over half a decade,
I'll agree with you with regards to dominant. Where I often disagree with you is when you want to talk about intent and wanting to win and wanting to dominate, or the fact that the club has tried to and have fallen short by 1 point, which would have been back to back, is why we go on like this. Because I'm like, because what's funny to me is you change your whole perspective if Liverpool had won by 1 point. You change your whole thinking of FSG and whether they've been intent, whether they've been dominant.
I knew they wasn't, so that's why that's all well and good. I knew they wasn't going to win the league that season.
Okay,
I knew it. I called it before.
The fact that you knew they weren't going to do it.
You want to keep harping on about point because you want to value and give them effort for being losers. All well and good. They was never going to win that league. The two leagues that they lost by a point because it's fine margins. And I looked at their team, and your team had more quality. If they would have signed and had better windows, the likelihood of those better windows getting them over the line increases massively.
I can guarantee you
got Jordan Henderson running around in your midfield and won a dynasty. Go away, man. What we doing?
I can guarantee you, Flawless, when you looked at your United teams and you happened to lose the Prem to me by goal differential, there's no way you were looking and saying City were winning that league. So there's times. Pardon me?
Yeah, I thought once we drop the game
No,
to
the start of the season. No, because we're not going to do that. Mid-season, you can change your opinion, of course. But the start of the season, because when all the bookmakers are saying who's favorites to win, you're not going into the season where we got you by goal differential,
what year
saying
was
that
it?
City had a better squad.
What year?
12.
I knew that our team wasn't good.
Oh my gosh.
What we talking about? Oh my gosh, I knew our team wasn't good.
You knew you weren't winning the Prem.
I knew our team
when we
was
beat you to goal differential that season.
No, I didn't know we was going to win the Prem. I didn't know we was going to win the Prem. I know it was going to be a struggle simply because that team. Wait, let me tell you this. That's the worst ever champ. That's the worst ever team I've seen that's won the league for us. We won 4 away games all season long. What are you talking about? The Manchester. Wait. I'll go one further. The Manchester United side. This Manchester United side currently right now has won more away games than that side. What are we talking about here? Got him. You know what I'm saying? What we doing here? Bear in mind, people, hear what I just said. Go check this. The side that won it in 2011 had the worst away record for a champions team, a team winning the league. We won 4 away games. It was 3 or 4 all season long in the Prem. Someone check. Prime. Okay. How many? Wait. Let me land because we're not getting off that point. Because you thought you had me and you don't. How many away games? Wait. How many away games have Manchester United won this season in the league? I bet it's more. So a side that's currently sat 3 points above 17th won more away games than a team that won the league. And you thought I was confident going into that season. Bear in mind who we signed. I think we signed Ashley Young, who I thought was good. De Gea I didn't know too much about. I'm not sure who the other player was. What are we talking about here? All this to defend FSG because they don't win back-to-back. All of this. And we'll be here 2035 talking about the same thing and you'll defend it. Same way with Arteta.
This conversation
I need you to check Prime. United's away record in 2000 and what year did you win it again?
12.
The goal difference? 20. Wait. Is it the season after? No, because he won it. I'm confused. Did we win it? You won it 2012, 13, right? You won it 13. We won it 14.
We won 12. You won 13.
So we won 11.
Yeah.
2010, 2011 Prime. Manchester United's away record. And compare it to our away record.
Okay, now. So just for the record, I'm not here defending FSG. I'm here talking about I'm here talking about the intent. I'm here talking about competing and realizing that you can fall short not because of what you didn't do or what your owners didn't do. Listen, if you're telling me right now after winning the Prem, the seasons after, you were saying that City were favorites to win the Prem for our first time. News to me. We weren't talking back then.
Yeah, we weren't talking. Not necessarily favorites, what I'm concerned. You lot was on the
okay, but this whole I don't want to do the concern thing.
And also, you know why I was concerned? Because of them owners we had.
Okay, I don't want to do the concern thing. I want to talk about favorites because we've been talking about favorites.
Yeah, all right. Let's say for argument's sake, I had those as favorites. What's your point? Let's go there. Since you want to go down this road, what's your point?
My point is, as favorites and whole investing or competing. We won that by goal differential, Flawless. Okay. That is not to look back and say that the decisions made by the club are to not show intent, or to not compete.
They didn't show intent in that 2011 season. Not enough. Gosh. They didn't in the summer. You're happy with mediocre, and that's cool. I'm not. Ashley Young, De Gea is not enough, and I was right. Because if we would have done better, we might, you know what? If we had done better, you know what would have happened? We probably would have won that league.
Hold on. Now here's the funny thing is,
Fergie also made it.
You often want to say I was right. If you happen to, has there ever been a season where you didn't think you were going to win it and you won it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going based off of what you're judging, and you were wrong with it because what the players you touted as being good enough. Or not being good enough, were good enough because either they played well, the manager made decisions.
Yeah, the manager made decisions and also players got better. 100% I did. I made mistakes with that. Like the one we won in was it 07? One after Chelsea won back-to-back. We won it that year, which I believe was 07. But that's because we had a whole heap of unknowns. Rooney was an unknown. Ronaldo was a teenager. Rooney was a teenager. We sold Van Nistelrooy. Zaha was there, but injury prone. So that's what it was. Of course, I died the manager. Don't always get it right. especially in my younger years when I know less. I know much more now and still get it wrong. But one thing I will not get wrong is that they're having no dynasty under FSG. I can guarantee you that. Same way I told you about your boy Arteta and you wanted to gas that up. Now you're here saying if you don't win next season, he's out of the job.
We want to talk dynasty or dominating?
Both.
Okay, but dominating is winning back to back. Dynasty is what? How many in 5? What's a dynasty?
3 and 5, 4 and 5.
3 and 5. Okay.
3 and 5, 4 and 5.
All right.
Well, it can't be. You can't really have one enough because you must have gone back to back. So yeah, 3 and 5 is a dynasty. Actually, no, because you can win 3 in a row and then not win 2. So no, it's not a dynasty. If you win 3 in a row and then don't win 2, that's not a dynasty.
A 3-year run.
5 years. Over that 3 years, yeah, but you gotta exclude it. It's over those 3 years, yes, but over the 5 years, no, because you didn't win 2 years in a row. So if you win 2025, 2026, 2027, that's the dynasty. But if you don't win 28, 29, how can that be included in your dynasty and you didn't win? Now, if you win 25, 26, 27, don't win 28 and then win 29, you've won 4 in 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I was right. See, to make sure my memory. So the one we won that started that, I didn't expect to win that. No. 06. I didn't expect to win that because it was a whole heap of unknowns. And I didn't expect Chelsea to fall off and capitulate in the manner in which they did. Because that was a scary side at that point. I've never seen it. They came in and did what you like to talk about is the points tally and all that. And they came in and broke all type of records. 95 points, 12, 15 goals conceded, 12 wins, 10 wins in a row. Like they came out the gate winning 10 games in a row and all that. I'd never seen that.
Are Chelsea fans thinking the season that they are Chelsea fans thinking that after winning back to back and falling off on the third season that the club didn't do enough? Because is that result based? The fact that they fell off, right?
You'd have to talk to Chelsea fans. I can tell you.
All right.
I can't talk for Chelsea fans. You know enough of them. I can get Surfer or Lewis.
Because it's easy when you lose. It's like, oh, we didn't do enough. The club, but sometimes the club made their decisions. You look because we all do this at the start of the season. Are we strong enough?
Sometimes yes, and I agree with.
Yeah,
I agree with that. If I look at it and I go, oh, this team is strong enough, and we fall short,
like it was set up City this season.
I'm not necessarily looking at the ownership. I'm looking at the players. I'm looking at the manager first and foremost. But if I can look at a squad and go, yeah, this ain't good enough, that's on the ownership. That's maybe on the manager for not demanding more. But that's definitely on the ownership. And I can look at them Liverpool sides and go, you are not good enough. You're good enough to win one because you have enough quality. You have quality all over the pitch. But to dominate and be a dynasty, no. And I was right. Because if I was wrong, you'd be sat here telling me I was wrong. But I was spot on. No dynasty.
Before we have the dynasty conversation, before we have the dominant conversation, we have to have the winning the Prem conversation. And when we have the winning the Prem conversation, when I look at what FSG armed Klopp with and the players that he had and the falling short of one player, I myself am not looking at FSG being like, y'all ain't serious.
No, I give him credit for that. Because that's the good part to it. I give them credit for that. Again, that ties back into what I was saying. They do one good thing and you are clap. So no, what about all the bad stuff they've done? What are we talking about here? But you want to give credit for that. When you talk about gas, this is the exact thing I'm talking about.
But flawless.
This is an example. Because
flawless.
They won a Prem.
Like I said at the start of the show. Like I said at the start of the show and how we're going to sign this off. You can't have sunshine without rain. Because it can't be sunshine all the time. Because if it's sunshine all the time, you don't know what that is. It's just a day. But when you have rain, then you know what sunshine is. You can't have good without bad. You got to have, and you can't have perfection. What I'm hearing,
no one's asking.
But what I'm hearing is,
no one's asking for
FSG. All owners, they're not going to do everything right.
All right.
So when I give
2010-11, United won 5 away games. So yes, I did doubt that team. 2011-12, United won 11 away games. 12-13 won 12 away games. How many games have we won away from home this season? And bear in mind, we're 3 points off 17th at the 19th of April.
Yeah, this is your worst Prem season ever.
No. I'm clarifying when you said to me about why did you doubt that team going through? So I'm just hammering home the point. That's all. and things can fall your way and you can invest well enough and others around you don't do the business and you take advantage of that and win a league. Like how Leicester did it. Leicester's team didn't think, the Leicester's owners and team didn't think they was going to win the league. But they put together a good team and took advantage of everyone else not doing what they're supposed to. And I give them props for that. That can happen.
But would you say the season before, would you say the season before, so they won it, not the season they won it, but the season before, would you say that the season before they weren't serious about attempting to win?
The league? No, it wasn't in their MO. I think they was just trying to survive. I think they had they not just come up. Let me check
but
this.
So but this is my point. Before
I'll tell you now,
there's the investment before the realization.
They was never trying to win the league. All right, let me check. So they won it 15-16. All right, Premier League table. 1 second.
There's the investing before the realization. 15. And I'm going to bring this up in future shows.
They was never trying to. So
because FSG invested in their
just attack. To clarify, they finished 14th. So no, they wasn't trying to win the league. No, that was not their
No. Winning, they weren't trying to win the league, or were they not trying to invest to win the league? Because
they weren't trying to invest to win the league. No.
Oh, so you think all their hold on. You think all their signings, all their plans, what they did that year is why they did it, not years leading into it?
No, I think I just mentioned it.
You don't win with 1 year plan. That doesn't happen.
Who's going to win with? No, it's not about winning with one. That wasn't the plan.
How do you know that?
It was never their plan. So you think Leicester finished 14th and when our plan is to win the Premier League?
No, I think Leicester. I think Leicester, like many other clubs, like many individuals, will have a plan. No, hear me out. Will have a plan for success, which will be to challenge or win the league. That's invested. Hear me out. That's invested 2, 3, 4 seasons before.
No, they didn't know.
Okay.
3 seasons before, no. Leicester wasn't. Okay. It was in the championship. So
it doesn't matter. You can be in the championship and still have plans. This is what we're going to do in the championship. Yes. This is how we're going to do when we get to the league. And this is how we're going to challenge when we're in the league.
Leicester plan.
Look at what Forest have done.
Leicester plan to win the league. Sure. All right. Okay. Leicester plan to win the league. So
this
thing of overachieving. No. No. They didn't plan to win the league. They overachieved and win the league. Give them credit. But was that their plan? No, it was not their plan, Velo.
Now you're taking credit away from an ownership.
I'm not taking.
Yes, credit. You are, because everyone has a plan to win. Flawless.
I'm saying they overachieved not to win the league.
They had a plan. No,
Leicester City had a plan to win. Leicester City did not sit down and go, "We are going to win the Premier League this season." They were 14th. No 14th place side, including us, if we finish 14th, looks at the next season and goes, our plan is to win the Premier League. What are we talking about?
No, the plan is to challenge, and then when you're challenging...
No, there was no plan to challenge. It was to get into the top half. That was their MO, and they overachieved with that. Same way with Forest, who finished 17th. You know what their MO would have been? All right, let's get mid-table. Let's get top 10. Max. You know what they've done, and credit to them, they've overachieved. If you think that Nottingham Forest plan to be in the Champions League, their aim when they've written their targets on the board, we're going to challenge for the Champions League, is absolutely batshit crazy. What are we talking about here?
No.
They finished 17th. No team in the history of the Premier League who has finished 17th goes the next season.
Forest don't cheat the system. Forest don't take the penalties that they took without a belief or without a plan to be in the mix to challenge.
No, to do better, yes. To be in the mix for Champions League.
Hold on. Let me talk to the chat. Let me talk to the chat real quick.
Talk to the chat.
Because you're gonna have a plan. Here's contingency 1.
Here's 2, planning on winning the league.
Here's what we're gonna achieve to do. Plus minuses. Here's what we're gonna try and do. Plus minuses. And if we're lucky, here's where we're at. Everybody builds these plans of success. If you don't plan for success, you're planning for failure.
Yes,
Leicester, let me finish. Don't step on this one, please. Leicester would have had a plan on how they are to get to their success.
What was the success? Now, what was the aim?
I can't speak for them.
We're both educated.
No, but you're speaking for them. They had no plan to win.
So let's take educated guesses then. They finished 14th. What position in the league do you think they thought realistically we can hit? Now, man, don't want to answer the question. All right,
I
now
don't
we
know.
don't know.
Five,
All right,
fifth,
now we
fourth.
don't know. Now we
Flawless. Okay,
don't know. Now
Flawless.
we
Let me
don't
ask you
know.
this. You're gonna
Now we don't know. Come on, man.
Spurs are gonna
Let's
finish
see.
what?
If we're gonna talk football,
Spurs
let's
are gonna
talk
finish
football.
what? Flawless 17th,
No,
right?
Let's say Spurs finish 17th.
Let's say they finish 17th.
Yes.
Now, what are you gonna tell me their plan should be next season? Let me hear you tell me what should their target be next season?
If you finish 17th,
to
get back into 8th is the highest you should be aiming for. 8th.
What's yours?
Get back in Europe. 8th.
What's yours?
Who?
United. What's United's plan
if
next
we,
season?
We finish 14th, 15th, yes, 8th. Get back into top 8.
So a club that finished 17th is aiming for 8th. A club you're gonna finish 13th are aiming for 8th.
I don't think we finish in 30th. You crazy. But yes, 8th.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's the aim. Nobody, no
team. How low can you be before you start thinking about winning the league?
How low can you be? Top 4?
Okay, that's where we're different.
Top 4.
All right. Okay.
Top 4. There's no way Leicester
finish. So with that thinking, Flawless. Hold on. Okay, with that thinking, Flawless. With that thinking, everybody below 4th, in your eyes, shouldn't be aspiring, shouldn't be planning to win the league, shouldn't be investing to win the league. Because according to you, if you're out of 4th, you're just whatever. I guess you're looking to just be in 4th. You're not looking to.
No, you're looking to break into that to then break its steps. So when a team comes up from the championship, you know what their MO and aim is. Bear in mind, you can overachieve like Leicester did. Your aim is to stay in the league. Once you come up from the championship, you stay in the league and establish yourself as a Premier League team. Now, if your team's good enough and other teams around you fall short, and the chips fall where they may, and you can finish 10th, or you can finish 8th, or you can have an incredible season and finish 6th coming up for the championship. That is called overachieving. No team has ever come up from the championship and our aim is to finish 6th. No, our aim is to stay in the Premier League. Now, you may overachieve, which is all well and good, but your aim is to stay in the Premier League. Then once you've stayed in the Premier League, your next season is to consolidate being in the Premier League. So you finish somewhere in mid-table. So let me finish here. Anywhere from 14th to 10th for a team who's having their second season in the Premier League is good enough. Now, depending on the teams around you, how you're playing, etc., can you build up and make yourself a Europe? Can you get to a European spot? So can we finish 8th? This is 3rd season. And then let's say you finish 8th or 7th. And then you get into Europe for the first time. Now you're in your 4th season in the league. You go, our base now where we finished is now 8th. Can we kick on and go and finish 6th, 5th? If you happen to go and do that and finish 6th or 5th, which is maybe Champions League, Europa League, but for this argument's sake, let's say it's Europa. We've now had 2 seasons in Europe. We're now in our 5th, 6th season in the Premier League. Can we now make that jump and break into, and it don't have to go in this order. Can we then break into the Champions League? Can we become a serious outfit? Now, let's say you finish 3rd. Or you finish comfortably 3rd. The 2 in front is City and Arsenal. They're miles above you. But we finished 3rd. We've been the 3rd best team, done well in Europe. How have we done in the FA Cups? We picked up an FA Cup or League Cup here or there. Now that next season, we go and invest seriously. Can we challenge? Now, at any point where I've just mentioned there, if you can finish higher, of course you do. So if you can come up from the championship and finish 10th, of course you're going to take that. But their aim wasn't 10th. Burnley are coming up. Burnley at the start of next season, if they get promoted, aren't going to go, our aim in the Premier League is to finish 10th. No, our aim in the Premier League is to finish 17th or higher. We just need to stay in the Premier League and then you build from there. Wolves did it. Wolves came up. I think they finished like 14th and then they finished 7th twice. And then it kind of fell away from there. What are we talking about here? No, Leicester didn't plan on winning the league.
A club that finishes 17th this season, next season they should aspire to finish 8th. The season after that, they should aspire to finish within the top 4.
No, 17th. If you're talking a championship side coming up, or is it an established Premier League?
Established Premier League.
Oh, established Premier League side. You shouldn't really be 17th if you're an established Premier League side.
Okay, but some teams finish 17th.
Yeah,
so a team that finishes 17th.
If you're 17th, you're aiming to me mid-table. Let's get back to like 10th, 11th. Yes.
10th, 11th. Okay, and then the season after that, they should be aspiring for what?
Yeah, they'll be looking at Europe now. If we've already been an established Premier League side and we've had the one bad season where we're 17th, then we've got back to 10th, 11th. Let's see if we can kick on and try and get 8th. Let's
Try
see
and
if we
get
can hit
8th.
Europe. Yeah, try
All
and
right.
get Europe.
17th,
10, 11,
10th,
12,
11th,
10 to
8th.
12.
Okay.
Yes. Then
8th
8th.
to 8th to 7th.
Yes.
And then after 8th to 7th, that following season, break
Top
into the
six.
top 4.
No,
So we're
top 6.
looking.
No,
Okay.
no. After 8th to 7th, top 6, I would say. Because 5th
After
might get
8th.
you Champions League. So top 6.
That's an
That's very
established
tough.
that's
Yeah,
an established English Premier League team.
absolutely.
And that is what we're looking 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years. If we're
All
talking an
right.
establishment, yeah, 100%.
Now if this happens to be United, there's no way you're giving your club 4 years to do that.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I asked in particular. This is why I asked, hey, you lot, relax in the chat or I will start banning people. If Manchester, that's why I asked established Premier League side is much different. Our aspirations and our investment is much different to, let's say Wolves finish 17th. What you just said there for Wolves makes sense because they're Wolves. We're not Wolves respectfully. We're Manchester United. We should be nowhere near where we're at. We shouldn't be we shouldn't even be in the realms of the conversation. Our base level should be 8th.
So what happens?
That's very worst. But go on.
So when a club happens
Go on.
to outperform, that is not planned by the club. That's just
no one
situational.
plans to overachieve. You plan to do, like, your aim is to the plan. Your aim is
Your
to
aim
hit
is for success. Your aim, like
your aim is your aiming for something. Yes, because
your aim is to.
because you made an interesting point when I asked you where should Manchester United be next season. What did I say? 8th. We skip a step because of the way we invest. We should skip. There's no way we should have two seasons in complete mediocrity. Bear in mind, 8th's not good, but it's a start.
Okay.
Bear in mind, I had us around there at the start of this season, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So now, if you happen to stumble upon success, right? Because you've planned for certain targets, but like you said, Leicester should in no way, shape, or form ever.
But they took advantage.
I hear you. I hear you.
I give Leicester full credit for what they did.
Yeah,
they invested correctly. Got some very, very good players, 2 generational players, and took advantage of the rest of the league being terrible. Props to Leicester for that.
Yeah, but in Leicester's boardrooms and their decision makers and the players that they've gone out and scouted for, they weren't trying to challenge for the league. They were just trying to be mid-table, but happened to stumble upon generational players that propelled them.
Yes,
right?
They had 2 generational players. Yes, that probably in their heart they would have accepted those 2 players being half of what they were, because they would have been a success at Leicester.
And in the world of sport, when you have a manager that's just looking to beat the other team on the other side, and it happens to be, I beat another team, I beat another team, I beat another team. The understanding is, if I hear correctly, is that they happen to luck into challenging for the league because of everyone else being poor around.
Nah, they didn't look into it. They didn't look.
But they had no plan. They had no plan. They had no plan on winning the league.
Who, Liverpool or Leicester?
Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester had no plans on winning the league.
They had no plan on winning the league.
0 plans on winning the league.
Yeah, but they obviously had a plan to beat every team or to beat every team in front of them. Of course,
you go out there and do your best. Every team tries to win 38 games out of 38. Southampton have tried to win every game. They're just very poor. What are we talking about? But they looked out. They looked out. Some luck. Actually, is an element of skill and an element of luck, because to have 2 generational players at the same time that fit around what you have has never happened again. That's why it was 1 in a whatever you want to call it. That's why the bookmakers had it at 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 2,000 or 1 in 3,000. They did what they were fortunate about, and this is not a shot at them, was everyone else around them was bad and they took full advantage of that. I give them credit for that. Liverpool have done that to an extent this season. I give them full credit to it.
And there's no winning intent, league winning intent that you give Leicester.
No, right? Leicester was not planning to win the Premier League when they finished 14th.
Would you say that's the same case for FSG?
Planning to
no league winning intent from FSG.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't say there's no winning league intent, because you're at Liverpool Football Club. It comes with it. I don't think there's 0. I just think there's not enough.
Okay.
That's where it lies. And your windows show this.
Okay.
It's not enough, because you built something great. You don't want to build further, which is crazy to me.
Okay.
Why would you not give Klopp and them players more quality. Bear in mind, you are chasing the juggernaut that is Manchester City. Bear in mind, you pushed them to the brim twice, as you've mentioned. If they have better, it increases their chances of winning those 2 league titles. They could have 3-4 league titles and 3 Champions Leagues. And we're looking at Liverpool and Klopp in the FSG in a completely different manner. But they fell short, in my opinion, because of their lack of quality.
I'm going to enjoy the future shows when FSG invest, and obviously the fans are going to say they didn't invest right, or they need
if they go get Kirkes, Hulson, Isak, that's serious investment.
Okay.
If they go get those, or they go get Gyökeres and go get Anthony Robertson and then go get, I just used De Jong's name, and go get a De Jong.
Okay.
Don't necessarily have to be big names, by the way, because Hulson and Robertson and Kirkes ain't the biggest names.
Okay.
I'm just using them as examples.
I hear it.
Why are FSG going to do that? No. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Well, now, they have enough good players there to go and try and win and compete, because you have, like Leicester, 2 exceptional players there. Or more than 2, but 2.
We'll do, when the time comes, for the transfer window, we'll do the who spent, who got the right profiles. We'll do all of that. And then not do the we won't do the results thing, because we're going to do somewhat of a predicting thing. But
yeah, we've been doing predictions. The thing you tried to avoid at the start of this season, but go on, carry on as you were.
What predicting thing?
The league table. You know what I'm saying? It's like pulling teeth, getting your 8.
I can see, because I can talk confidently on my club. I don't know the ins and outs of the others like that.
None of us do.
Yeah, but some of us talk a little too confidently of the others, and that's why I'm clear to say I'm a little hesitant to do that.
You're smart enough, you're intelligent, you can see the managers and the players, you can form opinions. What are we talking about? You can say this team's better than this team, in my opinion, because of this, this, and this. What are we doing?
Hey, but when I do that, I'm also accused of gaslighting.
That's the only because thing. Normally you pick a team that's terrible and go, they're going to do well, like Manchester United finishing 3rd. I mean, there's nothing third best about us.
See, I consumed it, in all fairness, and I won't make this mistake again. I consumed too much.
You made that mistake on purpose, because that's something.
No, I didn't. No. I don't make mistakes.
Okay, so I'll ask you again. Yeah. What was third best about us when you looked at us?
The way you closed out the season, the fact that you won the FA Cup, beating.
To the question, what is third best about us? What do we have that's the third best in the league? No. Do we have the third best goalkeeper at the start? Do we have the third best manager at the start of the season?
No, but you had a manager.
So we did no. Did we have the third best manager at the start of the season?
No, but you don't need the third best manager to be third best in the league.
Did we have do you need the third best something to finish in third?
We just finished talking about Leicester. No, you don't.
So you don't. So you're going with
we just finished talking about Leicester. Teams can fall off.
So you're going with the 1 in a million thing, and this is
I'm going. It's not the 1 in a million, because it's happened with FSG as well. It's happened with Liverpool this season. Other teams have fallen off.
It's 1 in a million.
No, but most you also said it kind of similarly happened.
No, it isn't. More people had Liverpool winning the league than had Leicester winning the league. No, what are we talking about here?
I get all that, but at the same time, when you want to talk about finishing third or why the certain reasons. There's certain reasons.
Because this is what I'm talking about.
Other teams falling off.
There's nothing third best about man. Is there anything fourth best about Manchester United at the start of the season? No. Is there anything fifth best? No.
Can I answer though?
No, because you go gaslight.
I'm not going to gaslight. The fact that your manager won 2 trophies, and not only that, he beat my manager.
Oh well, Pep. Good. Where does Claudio Ranieri rank for you in managers of all time? Does he make your top 10?
Of all time? No.
Okay, then does he make your top 20?
Probably.
Where does he rank in your top 20? So there's probably managers there's probably managers in your top 10 who haven't won a Premier League, and he won one, and you don't have him there. Why? What are we doing?
I said he'd be in my top 20, but the fact that
Ranieri's in your top 20 is crazy. But we move.
Why?
Is Ranieri better than Arteta? Is he on your list? Here we go. This is where we get him.
No, Arteta's not in my top 20. He hasn't won anything yet.
All right, see, okay, fast.
But I can see the potential in him.
And we're not Ranieri's in your top 20, but Arteta's not in your top 20.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Ancelotti in your top 20?
Who'd you say?
Ancelotti.
Yeah, of course.
Emery?
Yeah. I
Okay.
put Emery up there. Listen, Arteta's got potential, which I'm not ignoring. But I want to make this one point because you want to bring up third place United. How he
No,
closed
you
out the
called them
season.
third place. Don't put that on me.
Yeah. I
You
had
called
him third place. I
Yeah,
consumed
because they won
way,
2 trophies.
but
Yeah,
you're trying
you
to say that
consumed.
I made the mistake on purpose. I
Yeah,
consumed a little
you
too
consume
much
content. We
United.
was doing a weekly show back there, but you chose to ignore me and listen to them. I get it.
No, it was a combination of the two.
Yeah,
It was a
sure.
combination of the two.
No, you paid attention to what you wanted to. You took on board what you wanted to take on board.
No.
This guy. Yeah, you
Listen,
did. This guy can't kid a kidder.
I
I
was
told him all season I was paying attention. Manchester United, there was nothing third best about us.
I was
There was
I
nothing
was
that
listening to
suggested.
Saeed. I was listening to
That's
Rance. I
your
was like,
fault.
yo, you know
It's
what?
your fault for listening for people. These
And
are
I
the
won't make that mistake again.
But you
next
did because
season.
these are the same people you listen to. Shout out to Rance and Saeed who gassed up Ineos and you backed that.
Well, we need to see more evidence with regards
You
to
thought it
Ineos.
was
But
good.
listen,
No, you need
listen,
everything we say.
everybody in the chat,
more
Flawless
evidence.
is not going to do this to me. I need to wish each and every one of you a happy Easter. This man, I know you. Listen, if you guys know when you got the family get-togethers and for whatever reason you start, who's been arguing for the last hour down in the this is what's going on. And we'd be
Just
talking about first we'd talk about music, then we talk about video games, then we talk about teams. It's one of those. Listen, just what it is. My brother Flawless, good looking out. Thanks for having me on the show. Listen, y'all can hate on FSG as much as you want.
This is great, I love
y'all can discredit them, but if it weren't for City, it's a dynasty that they have. If it weren't for United, it's a dynasty that Arsenal have. So I know how fine the margins are, and with regards to intent, we see what it is.
Wait, before you go, obviously, let them know what you got coming up over the weekend and next week. Link the Vega Games TVs and the
actually, let me try to set this up real quick.
Oh, good. Why you do that? You ain't skating off here scot-free. Everton away. Scoreline prediction.
Oh, we gotta get. That's a must win. That's a must win.
Scoreline.
Listen, see, Flawless, stop doing this. Oh, I didn't even realize.
Because you be trying to gaslight. Oh, well, it's a must win. No one asked you if it's a must win. I just need 2 numbers, brother. That's it.
No, see, ladies, Flawless.
Why are you talking to the ladies? Why are you talking to the ladies?
Telling the ladies in the chat. Flawless is a little too direct. He's a little too direct. I like to take the scenic
you
route.
like to be we ain't taking
I like to take the scenic route.
We two men, we having a conversation here. We getting straight to it, man.
I'm talking to the chat. Let me talk to the ladies in the chat. You have an unusual high number of ladies that seem to watch your channel. So let me talk to them.
Why is it an unusual number? Why are you hating because I can diversify my portfolio?
I'm not hating.
You trying to say, the women are, you know why? Because the women are cool here. That's why they know what it is.
The women are cool with you. So
they know what it is. They know what it is when they come in. They know that it's not all serious and they're comfortable. They're comfortable.
Absolutely.
The city's open for everyone. Everyone bar his boy Ryan. We here for. Go on, carry on.
I was gonna say
bar Vader's boy Ryan is here for.
Hopefully he's good. I haven't seen him in a minute.
I timed him out before. I timed him out.
You timed him out.
Yeah, I timed him out. He was trying
over the holidays.
No. I timed him out in the last show. You can time people out in the comments because he was trying rubbish. I was like, all right, time out.
That's harsh.
Yeah, he deserved it. Well, yeah, you're the only one who defends him. Him, FSG, interested in that. But we move.
Does he defend FSG?
No, I'm saying you defend him and defend FSG.
Oh, no, I hear that. No, my next show is going to be, I got to talk, like I said, I got to talk to my fan base with regards to KDB and his departure. Tune in, and it's most likely going to happen after the City game, so I'm going to do a little review as well. But Vader Games TV, simple search in the YouTube. You'll see what it is. Subscribe, comment, like, do the damn thing. I am now going to sneak my way back upstairs, talk with the fam, wish them good night, prayers, and all that kind of stuff. But I hope you enjoyed the show. And yeah, you can see what I'm going to talk on future shows with regards to this. Rivals don't really they don't like when I have to speak on this. Like,
they do. That's why we pull up. I watch your shows.
That's true. But
I can't stand your team and sometimes your viewpoints, but I support. It's interesting to hear.
Fair. But
my Glazers were better without Ineos. I want to hear that. You're gonna give me some good points. I want to hear that one. When you doing this?
That one's fan determined. That one's fan determined. After I do this show, then whoever in the comments says, "Yo, Vader, do the next one," is what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm gonna hit up all these at some point. At some point, I'm gonna hit those all up.
So why Glazers were better without Ineos? Why Pep's first 8 years is greater than Sir Alex? This guy a joke, man. Why Arteta's Champions League wins confuses Arteta haters? Why City are quick to correct errors? Why FSG are efficient winners? Go on, carry on. We all know Pep's first 8 years is better than Sir Alex. That's why I said that. You're a joke, man.
Yeah, so no, but some question it. Some
dispute that.
I'm United fan, so I need to speak to them. I gotta.
Yeah, it's because I get it, man. Because
it's the wrong. I'm listening to the wrong United fans. You know what?
No, it's not. It's because you're so like they hear you say stuff on Twitter. You are a wind up. Before I met Vader, I was like, this guy's a wind up on Twitter. You know, but I was like, I like him. Though. You're a wind up on Twitter.
On Twitter,
you're a wind up. Yeah, you're a wind up.
All right. You know what? Subscribe, hit the like, be a part of the next show in the comments. I'm gonna talk why KDB. It's difficult, but it's time for him to go, and we'll break that down. Enjoy all future shows. Subscribe to Sarcasm City TV. Do the damn thing. Flawless, man. Bless you and the family.
Big up. Appreciate it. Same to you. Love all that. Nieces, nephews, wife. Hello to her. You know what I'm saying? The whole family tree. But you ain't just trying to sneak out. Everton, Manchester City.
I said win. I said must win.
Must score.
Oh,
you said must win.
See,
scoreline.
You don't even know the starting 11. Scoreline.
If it means that much to you,
boring.
You can give your scoreline now, and then before the game starts, once you see the lineup an hour before, I'll be live. Pop up in the chat or just message me, and we can do an updated scoreline. That is absolutely fine.
If I see it now, Everton defensive 2-1.
2-1 Everton. All right, let's go.
No. 2-1 City, but they're going to be defensive.
And also, when we do our next show Tuesday night, you lot got the Villa coming into town.
Oh yeah, must. That's a 6-pointer. That's a 6-pointer.
You ain't trying to see Villa and Emery.
What?
I said you ain't trying. I ain't said you ain't trying to see them at the Etihad.
You don't need to put the microphone all close.
Yeah, it's because I have to let it be known. You said what? I have to make sure. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You are not trying to see Unai Emery. That's
Unai is gonna do his thing against everybody else. Unai is gonna do it against everybody else. With regards to City, actually, let me switch that. It's gonna be 3-1 Everton, a win over Everton, and then it's gonna be a 2-1 versus Villa. KG.
So 6 points, yeah.
6 points we got to get to 6 points.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So you getting 6 points over 4 days, yeah?
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at one of those being a draw, but I'm seeing a win.
All right, I hope it's 2 losses, but I think fuck see. I think you'll draw and then lose to Villa.
You know what? I don't need to talk bad on United because you guys are already down in the dumps.
Yeah, isn't hey, this is the same team you thought was finishing third, mate. But hey,
I don't punch down, and I'm not gonna kick you while you're down. You know what I mean? So
I go get Newcastle anyway. Then what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo, I will be there. I'll be in the chat. Yo, bless, man. Bless.
Hey, love every time, Vader. Yeah, I'll catch up with you soon, man. Big up. Bless up. Shout out to Vader. This is just what shows are like, is me and Vader just arguing and debating stuff, but you lot are clearly entertained. 3 hours. We're getting over to the playback right now. I know the game's probably tipped off. We are over there for the Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies. I know Will mentioned it earlier, but yeah, that's why I bet this game has tipped off. Yes, it has tipped off, so we're going to get over there. Right, the Grizzlies up 23-10. So we're heading over www.playback.tv/sarcasmcitytv. That's www.playback.tv/sarcasmcitytv. That's where all the NBA playoff watch-alongs will be going on, is on the playback, people. That's where they'll all be going on. I can't believe this show. Actually, why am I surprised? It's me and Vale. We always arguing and debating like this. But yeah, make sure you lot subscribe. Even though you see us debate and we argue, that's family tree right there. I said that's the cousins that we just argue. That's what it is. Links in the title, people. Link is in the title. Links in the title. Vader Games TV. Please make sure you run up the likes. Hit the subscribe button on here as well. Let me redirect. Use live, people. I'm gonna send you lot over to someone, but I hope to see you lot on the playback in a second. Literally, I'm gonna run toilet, get myself a drink, and then when we'll load up that stream. You know the work don't stop. And shout out to Prime as well. Clips channel on its way. Oh shit, super chats as well. Let me big up to Sai. Did he drop another one? Ah shit, you dropped 2. My bad, Sai. Apologies. He says you gas that. Hey Sai, next time Vader's on, don't super chat and I get to this comment, but appreciate it. He says, you gaslight again because FSG, we didn't win more trophies. They made mistakes. Next summer, FSG has to spend big and they're willing to for the first time. Exactly that. Goes on, FSG didn't spend when team is on top. They spent more. More. We'll have more trophies now. Klopp got 780 million in 9 years. Klopp didn't get back to him. I hear it. Well, big up for the free super chats, man. And big up to Will, who's been a member of the channel for 15 months as well. Link is in the pinned comment. Let me see who's actually live. Hey, I see you, man. Big up Beijing Pops. Everyone in the chat as well. This guy talking about Fergie's 8 years versus Pep's first 8 years. It's like, all right. Okay. Sure. All right. Let me see who's live. Is Zir live? Why does this thing not pop up on the screen? His channel just don't be popping up, even though he's live. It's crazy. Is he still alive? Are you not sure he's still alive? Let me refresh this. Let me refresh this thing. Not sure he's still alive. Yeah, he's not live. Is he? Why is it not? Wait. How long SmackDown? How long is SmackDown? All right, cool. I'm going to just send you lot over there. I'll send you lot over there. All right, boom. But big up. This has been the Manchester United, Manchester City podcast. Mandem United pod meets the Mandem City pod. We're back live, like I said, in 2 minutes on the playback. We're also going to be live on the playback and on the YouTube tomorrow. Just check out the schedule. What games are we doing? Premier League watch-alongs tomorrow. Obviously, there's no early kickoff, people. There's no early kickoff. So the games we are doing tomorrow in the Premier League are Everton versus Manchester City that me and Veta just spoke about. Villa versus Newcastle as well. Then you'll get the Yardman show. And then NBA playoffs time also is NBA playoffs times, people. So the first playoff game we will be doing is the Nuggets. There's the Denver Nuggets, LA Clippers, Denver Nuggets, and then you'll get OKC, KFC, ABC, Lakers in 5. But you're going to get the Timberwolves versus the LA Lakers. What do they say? Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Lakers in 5. But yeah, let me redirect to you lot. I ain't even a Lakers fan. That shit just hilarious, yo. I'm not going to lie. That shit just hilarious. But right, I'm redirecting over to Zare anyway. All I need you lot to do is put Sarcasm City TV raid in his chat. So big up, love to everyone that's locked in, and see you on the playback in 2.